Chapter 8:14. Jiao, you must have found a young genius to be your successor, right? Do you want to take revenge on me? How naive. Since you are in Nine Dragon City, I will find you. Let's leave this matter to the ancient families. The middle-aged man whispered. Then, his lips moved and he seemed to have said something. Soon, 6 middle-aged men walked in. Each and every one of these 6 middle-aged men possessed imposing auras. From a single glance, one could tell that they were people of high status and possessed the aura of an overlord. However, the 6 middle-aged men were extremely respectful before the black-clothed man. "Greetings, Your Majesty." The 6 middle-aged men bowed and greeted him. Obviously, the middle-aged man in black was the ruler of Emperor Heaven Divine Palace, one of the overlords of Eastern Wilderness, Martial Emperor. The 6 middle-aged men who came later were the family heads of the 6 ancient families. "May I know why Your Majesty has summoned the 6 of us?" The family head of the Dongfang family bowed and asked. During this period of time, pay close attention to the geniuses in Nine Dragon City, especially those who have awakened the true dragon bloodline. If there are any, bring them here. Martial Emperor instructed. The 6 family heads bowed and accepted the order. Go. After Martial Emperor instructed, he closed his eyes again. The patriarchs of the 6 ancient families bowed and left. The 9 dragon bloodline roared and its aura was shocking. Lu Ming turned into a ray of light and entered the 9 dragon bloodline, merging with it. At this moment, Lu Ming seemed to have turned into a true dragon and had the power to destroy the world. After a while, the 9 dragon bloodline shrank and turned into Lu Ming's appearance. I wonder if the 9 dragon bloodline has any other functions after becoming a divine bloodline? The devouring power should be stronger, right? I should find a chance to try it. Lu Ming thought excitedly as he sensed it carefully. All of a sudden, he felt a strange power in the 9 dragons bloodline at his spine. This power was extremely terrifying and Lu Ming seemed to be able to draw out this power at any time. What kind of power is this? I should go out and try it. Lu Ming left the Supreme Divine Palace and appeared on a mountain peak thousands of miles away. With a thought, Lu Ming drew out the power of the 9 dragons bloodline. This power was similar to true origin, but it was completely different. Lu Ming felt that the essence of this power was thousands of miles stronger than true essence. As soon as this energy was drawn out, it emitted an astonishing dragon roar. Then, this energy fused into Lu Ming's body. At this moment, Lu Ming's muscles swelled up and scales appeared on his skin. Dragon scales. These were dragon scales. At this moment, Lu Ming felt as if his entire body was filled with boundless power. Boom! Lu Ming punched out. Everywhere his fist passed, the air turned into liquid and then evaporated. Space was like paper, folding in front of his fist. A terrifying fist energy exploded out. Boom! Boom! Wherever the fist energy passed, 7 huge mountains were pierced by the fist energy and exploded. Many demonic beasts roared crazily and were sent flying far away. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. The power of this punch was terrifying. This was just a casual punch from Lu Ming. What kind of power is this? It's too strong. Lu Ming was shocked and excited at the same time. Dragon power, the power of a true dragon. Kid, this is the power of a true dragon. Dandan shouted on Lin Fan's shoulder. Dragon power? Lu Ming was puzzled. Dragon power is a power that only a true dragon can control. It's extremely powerful and is many times stronger than true origin. Kid, you can control dragon power? Dandan exclaimed. I can't control it. It's just a force born from the bloodline. Lu Ming arrived. While speaking, Lu Ming felt that the dragon power in his body was slowly weakening. Soon, the dragon power seemed to be exhausted. The dragon scales on Lu Ming's skin also disappeared. Why is it gone? Lu Ming was shocked. It couldn't be that it was exhausted just like that, right? Brat, don't worry. Once it's used up, it will recover. Even if it's just 1 strand, you've already made a fortune. The power of the dragon force is not something that Jin Yuan can compare to. You've seen the power just now. Dandan said. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Could this be the benefit of the Nine Dragons bloodline being promoted to God realm? A dragon power was condensed in the bloodline. After Lu Ming unleashed it, his battle strength would increase greatly. This could be Lu Ming's trump card. I remember now. Kid, the bloodline you awakened, it can't be the Nine Dragons bloodline, right? Dandan suddenly shouted, staring at Lu Ming. Yes, what's wrong? Lu Ming said. It's really the Nine Dragons bloodline. How did you awaken it? Using the Nine Dragons blood essence? Dandan asked again. Didn't you already know this? Lu Ming was speechless. Dandan was by his side every day. Dandan already knew his secret. I just thought it was familiar before. Now, I finally remember. Nine Dragons, so it's that kid Nine Dragons. It seems that it has died in battle. Dandan suddenly sighed. That kid Nine Dragons? Lu Ming was a little speechless. However, he was used to Dandan's bragging tone. He asked curiously, Dandan, do you know Nine Dragons? Nonsense, of course I know them. I'm the leader of the top 10 beasts. Nine Dragons is also one of the top 10 beasts. I was the one who guided him back then. His devouring talent could be maximized. Haven't you mastered it too? Dandan clasped his hands behind his back and spoke like an old man. Nine Dragons is also one of the top 10 beasts. Then what are the top 10 beasts? Lu Ming was very curious. He had heard Dandan talk about the top 10 beasts every day. He had long wanted to know. Kid, the top 10 beasts are existences that surpass the divine beasts. Each of them is unique and powerful. With your current cultivation, it's useless to know. I'll tell you later. Dandan said proudly. Forget it, I'll find out myself in the future. Lu Ming said. Then, he returned to the cave and continued to cultivate. After the Nine Dragons bloodline was promoted to the divine rank, its devouring power had increased by dozens of times. The refining of blood essence was extremely fast. Under the Enlightenment Ancient Tree, Lu Ming's cultivation improved by leaps and bounds. Supreme Nine Yang was also under the Soul Consolidating Tree and did not wake up. Time flew by quickly. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Soon, Lu Ming came to the wild beasts forest. 5 months had passed. In these 5 months, Lu Ming had improved rapidly in all aspects. First, he lit 2 more paths of inscription. Just a few days ago, Lu Ming had lit a total of 4 blue spirit lamps. As for the Nine Dragons heaven-stomping steps, Lu Ming had successfully cultivated to the 5th step and was moving towards the 6th step. Chapter 8:15. Other than the Nine Dragons heaven-stomping steps, Lu Ming also successfully integrated the concept of earth into the 3 ultimate skills of the Dragon God, making it a demigod martial skill. Lu Ming cultivated it to the highest level. With this, Lu Ming undoubtedly had many more tricks up his sleeves. As for the concept of heaven and earth, his progress was also very fast. Wind, fire, and thunder, the 3 concepts of heaven and earth had all reached the greater success of level 2. Only the concept of earth was stuck at the peak of level 2 initial success for several months. The concept of earth was very difficult to cultivate, and there were many bottlenecks. If he wanted to improve it, it would be much slower than the 9 common concepts. Most importantly, Lu Ming had to multitask. If he only cultivated 1 concept of earth, his speed would definitely be much faster. As the concept increased, his cultivation would naturally increase quickly as well. Now, Lu Ming's cultivation had reached the peak of the 5th level of the spiritual sea realm. Compared to 5 months ago, it had increased by 3 levels. Their overall combat strength was much stronger than it was 5 months ago. Such a huge improvement was inseparable from the Enlightenment Ancient Tree. Of course, there was also the huge amount of resources left behind by Supreme Nine Suns. Lu Ming turned around and looked in the direction of Supreme Nine Suns. Supreme Nine Suns was still sitting cross-legged under the Soul Consolidating Tree. It had already been 5 months, and he had not moved at all. However, Supreme Nine Suns' remnant soul was much more condensed than 5 months ago, giving off a heavy feeling. The soul consolidating fruits on the 2 soul consolidating trees had long disappeared. Not only that, even the 2 soul consolidating trees had completely withered, turning into dead branches. Lu Ming had a feeling that Supreme Nine Suns would wake up soon. Shua. Lu Ming's figure moved, and he left the cave. It was time to collect the blood essence once every 7 days. Not long after, he saw a figure standing in the air, facing the wind. It was Wang Haoxian. Seeing Lu Ming come, Wang Haoxian waved his hand and threw 7 jade bottles to Lu Ming. After Lu Ming caught them, he threw the 7 empty jade bottles to Wang Haoxian. What do you want so much blood essence for? Are you refining pills? Wang Haoxian asked curiously. After 5 months, Wang Haoxian's state of mind had gradually calmed down. It seemed that she had gotten used to coming here every 7 days to hand over 7 sets of blood essence to meet Lu Ming. Over the past 5 months, Wang Haoxian had not asked Wang Haoxian's hands blood essence. How about a battle with me? Lu Ming's mouth suddenly spoke after 5 months of tough cultivation. Lu Ming wanted to test the results of his cultivation. Wang Haoxian, as hands. Wang Yi, heaven's god. Wang. Wang's fingers hands as heavens. Hands. Hand eyes, hands Wang Haoxian's eyes flashed. Eyes I hand, mice hands my there's hands gods. God's mice. God. Lu Ming smiled faintly. You asked for it. Wang Haoxian's eyes turned cold. Her body emitted blazing flames. She strode forward and threw a punch. The blazing fist radiance blasted toward Lu Ming. The infinite dragon spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. He waved it casually and shattered the fist radiance. No need to test me. Use your full strength. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Wang Haoxian furrowed her brows slightly. Her punch just now had 80% of her strength from 5 months ago. If it had been 5 months ago, Lu Ming would definitely have been sent flying. But now, Lu Ming had defeated her fist gleam effortlessly. It seemed that Lu Ming had made great progress in the past 5 months. Boom. The next moment, Wang Haoxian's aura burst out. Instantly, it reached the peak of the 5th layer of the spiritual sea realm. But it was not the limit. The early stage of the 6th layer of the spiritual sea realm, the middle stage of the 6th layer of the spiritual sea realm, it kept increasing until it reached the peak of the 6th layer of the spiritual sea realm. Obviously, Wang Haoxian's cultivation had also made great progress in the past few months. That was for sure. It was impossible that Lu Ming was the only one who was improving. Others were also improving all the time. Boom. Wang Haoxian stepped forward and threw a punch at Lu Ming. The power of this punch was even more terrifying. That's right. Lu Ming laughed. His aura burst out. His long spear was like a dragon. With a thrust, a 4-colored dragon flew out and pounced forward. With a boom, Wang Haoxian's fist radiance was shattered. Although the 4-colored dragon became smaller, it still pounced forward. How can he be so strong? Wang Haoxian's expression changed. She waved her fists again and 2 fist radiances were thrown out. 1 fist radiance and the 4-colored dragon were shattered at the same time, while the other one blasted toward Lu Ming. The spear radiance burst out. Lu Ming shattered Wang Haoxian's fist radiance with 1 spear and strode forward. The spear radiance was like a mountain, smashing toward Wang Haoxian. Wang Haoxian roared. Flames burned as she tried her best to fight with Lu Ming. But the more they fought, the more shocked Wang Haoxian was. She was actually suppressed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's cultivation was at the peak of the 5th layer of the spiritual sea realm, 1 level lower than her, but he was still suppressing her. What was surprising was that Lu Ming did not seem to be using bloodline martial arts. That was even more surprising. In fact, this was normal. In the past 5 months, Lu Ming's 4 types of mentalities had all broken through and improved. Wang Haoxian's mentalities had reached the 2nd level of perfection 5 months ago. Although it had improved in the past month, it was still at the 2nd level of perfection. So, in terms of mentalities, Lu Ming's improvement was much greater than hers. That was why Lu Ming could surpass 1 level and easily suppress her. No, I can't be defeated by him. Wang Haoxian roared in her heart. Above her head, purple flames appeared. Her body melted into the purple flames. The purple flames twisted and turned into a purple firebird, pouncing toward Lu Ming. Bloodline fusion. I've been waiting for this move. Lu Ming smiled. The infinite dragon spear disappeared, and a palm struck toward Wang Haoxian. As the palm struck, the space shook. The firebird screamed and flew back, turning back into Wang Haoxian's figure. Her face was pale, and blood flowed out from the corner of her mouth. Her eyes were filled with shock and disbelief. Lu Ming did not even use bloodline fusion. He defeated her bloodline fusion with one move and beat her back to her original form. How could it be so terrifying? She felt that the power of Lu Ming's palm strike seemed to be able to suppress the heaven and earth, making her feel that she could not resist. What followed was depression and dejection. 5 months. It had only been 5 months. 5 months ago, Lu Ming was no match for her at all. She chased him all over the place and he was almost killed by her. 5 months later, even though her cultivation level had increased by 1 level, she was still easily defeated by Lu Ming in 1 move. It was hard for her to accept. Would she still have any hope of revenge against Lu Ming in the future? Her hope was getting slimmer and slimmer. Wang Haoxian felt a sense of helplessness. This feeling of helplessness only came when she faced those monsters at the top of the list of top 1,000 talents. Could it be that Lu Ming could compete with those perverts? The Hell-Suppressing Heaven skill is equivalent to an upper demigod martial technique. It's really powerful. Chapter 8:16. In the past 5 months, Lu Ming had devoured more than 150 portions of blood essence from beasts above the 5th layer of the spiritual ocean realm. It was impossible for his bloodline to not improve. The Suppressing Prison Monument bloodline and the 9 Dragons bloodline both improved by 1 level. Both bloodlines reached the 2nd level of the divine rank. When the Suppressing Prison Monument bloodline reached the 2nd level of the divine rank, the power of the Suppressing Prison celestial skill skyrocketed again, reaching the power of an upper-grade half-god martial technique. However, it should be equivalent to the 1st level of an upper-grade half-god martial technique. Even so, its power was several times stronger than the highest level of a low-grade half-god martial technique. An upper-grade half-god martial technique could only be mastered by spirit embryo realm experts. Only then could they unleash its full power. Its power was terrifyingly strong. When the 9 Dragons bloodline reached the 2nd level of the divine rank, Lu Ming discovered that there was actually an additional dragon power. There were 2 dragon powers in the bloodline. This made Lu Ming look forward to the bloodline's upgrade even more. However, it was even more difficult to upgrade the bloodline at the divine rank. However, the 3rd bloodline had not awakened yet. It was as if it was still brewing and accumulating. This made Lu Ming feel rather helpless. He could only wait. Let's go. Follow me to hunt beasts. Lu Ming instructed Wang Haoxian. In the past 5 months, Lu Ming almost did not engage in any battles. He spent almost all of his time cultivating. Cultivating blindly was not enough. There had to be a great battle. Only by combining the 2 could it be the path of martial cultivation. Lu Ming planned to kill beasts in the Wild Beast Mountain range while obtaining blood essence. When Supreme 9 Suns woke up, he would head to the Ocean Cloud sect. Back then he had made an appointment with Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin to meet at the Ocean Cloud sect half a year later. Wang Haoxian bit her lips and followed behind Lu Ming. No one knew what she was thinking. Lu Ming was too lazy to care. He and Wang Haoxian went deep into the Wild Beast Mountain range to search for high-level beasts. Lu Ming was too lazy to hunt beasts in the 5th and 6th layer of the spiritual ocean realm. Their blood essence was too weak for Lu Ming. He had to hunt beasts in the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean realm at least. Soon, the 2 were 100,000 miles deep. A giant black bear, 10 meters tall, with blood-red eyes, exuded a terrifying and powerful aura. This was a demonic beast at the peak of the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean tier, charging towards Lu Ming fearlessly. A spear light materialized in his hand. With a wave of his hand, the spear light pierced through the void and pierced through the head of the giant bear. Lu Ming could casually kill a normal peak of the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. Devouring power erupted from his palm, devouring the blood essence of the giant bear and refining it. The refining power of the 9 dragons' bloodline of the divine realm was incomparably terrifying. In just a few minutes, the giant bear's blood essence was completely refined. The two continued to go deeper, and before long, an 8th layer spiritual ocean tier beast appeared, but was still easily killed by Lu Ming. The two of them advanced, and in a day's time, there were as many as 10 beasts in the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean tier and above that died at Lu Ming's hands. Lu Ming used it to upgrade the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline, but it was like throwing a stone into the ocean. It didn't cause any ripples. Boom, boom. Suddenly, a rumbling sound came from ahead. Sword Chi soared into the sky, and there were roars of demonic beasts. Someone was fighting with demonic beasts. In the Wild Beast Mountain range, there were often people who entered to hunt demonic beasts, obtain materials, and search for some spirit herbs. Lu Ming didn't mind, bypassing that place and continuing forward. Soon, they advanced another 10,000 miles. That seems to be a bloodstained flower. Suddenly, several spirit flowers appeared in front of them. The spirit flowers were dark red, emitting a rich medicinal fragrance. Bloodstained flower was a 6th-level high-grade spirit herb. Although Lu Ming didn't care much about it now, since he saw it he naturally wouldn't miss it. Lu Ming was just about to walk over when a buzzing sound suddenly sounded in the sky. A group of dark red flying insects flew towards Lu Ming and the others. There were too many of these dark red flying insects, at least 10,000 of them. Bloodstained bugs equivalent to peak king tier. Lu Ming's mind moved, recognizing these flying insects. Lu Ming didn't make a move, but Wang Haoxin did. She waved her hand, and purple flames spread out, enveloping the sky. In the next moment, the 10,000 bloodstained bugs were burned to ashes. Lu Ming smiled and stepped forward. Suddenly the shwa, shwa. The sound of air being torn apart rang out, and 7 or 8 figures flew over at extreme speed. Little guy, those bloodstained flowers are ours. An aged voice sounded, and 8 figures appeared, standing above Lu Ming and the others. A vast aura spread out. These 8 people were undoubtedly experts. 5 at the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean tier, and 3 at the 8th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. No wonder they dared to go hundreds of thousands of miles deep into the Wild Beast Mountain range. Of the 8 people, there were white-haired old men and middle-aged men. Get lost. A cold voice came from Lu Ming's mouth. Little guy, what did you say? You're so young and you don't know how to respect your elders. Looks like I'll have to teach you a lesson on behalf of your elders. A short and fat old man's face revealed anger, and he stared at Lu Ming with an unfriendly gaze. An enormous aura spread out, and the aura of the peak of the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean tier pressed down on Lu Ming. If you don't get lost, I'll kill him. Lu Ming didn't even look at the short and fat old man, and stepped toward the bloodstained flowers. These words were directed at Wang Haoxin. You're courting death. The short and fat old man shouted angrily, and a battle saber appeared in his hand. His figure flashed, and he slashed at Lu Ming. But in the next moment, a figure appeared in front of the old man, and a blazing aura spread out as a fist punched out. The short and fat old man was like a firework, instantly turning into flames and exploding, not even leaving behind ashes. Raging Flames Sky-Burning Art, the Wang family's Raging Flames Sky-Burning Art. So young but so powerful. Could she be the Wang family's god-tier genius, Wang Haoxin? It should be her. The other 7 people cried out involuntarily. They came from a big force in 9 Dragon City, but that force was far inferior to the Wang family. Get lost or die. Wang Haoxin shouted coldly. Deep fear flashed in the eyes of the 7 people. Although their cultivation was high, they still had deep respect for such a god-tier genius. The combat power of a god-tier genius was too strong, and it couldn't be measured by cultivation at all. But what shocked them the most was that Wang Haoxin seemed to be taking orders from that young man. Just now, that young man completely ordered Wang Haoxin in a commanding tone. Who was that young man? It was unbelievable that he could order a god-tier genius like Wang Haoxin. They looked at Lu Ming, and their eyes flashed with respect. Ha, that was a misunderstanding. Let's go, we'll go immediately. The other 7 people laughed and flew forward quickly, going deep into the wild beast forest. Lu Ming didn't bother to pay attention to them, and he casually picked the bloodstained flowers. Then he continued to look for beasts to kill. In the blink of an eye, half a day passed. Suddenly, a few beasts' roars came from the front, shaking heaven and earth. Chapter 8:17. These were 2 elders. Their bodies were covered in blood, and their faces were filled with terror as they fled. Behind them, there were several huge beasts chasing after them. The aura of those beasts was extremely terrifying, and they were beasts at the 9th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. At this moment, the 2 old men also saw Lu Ming and Wang Haoxin. Their eyes lit up, and they rushed towards Lu Ming and Wang Haoxin, shouting, "Save us! Save us!" Lu Ming frowned. These 2 old guys obviously wanted to draw trouble onto them. How could Lu Ming let them do as they wished? "Retreat," Lu Ming said softly, and retreated with Wang Haoxin. "Save us!" The 2 old men chased after Lu Ming and Wang Haoxin, and the few powerful beasts behind continued to chase after the 2 old men. "You two, you can't leave us in the lurch," the 2 old men shouted. "What did you take from those beasts? Otherwise, why would they chase after you so desperately?" Lu Ming snorted coldly. The 2 old men's faces changed, and one of them said, "We didn't take anything. We just went in deep and encountered these beasts chasing after us crazily. Our other companions were all killed by them, and only the 2 of us are left." The 2 old men spoke as they flew towards them. "Give me your storage rings and I'll save you." Lu Ming sneered. These 2 old fellows must have taken something from those monstrous beasts. Otherwise, those monstrous beasts wouldn't be chasing them non-stop. "Lu, you're robbing us," the 2 old men said. "If you don't give it to me, then scram. If you keep pestering me, I'll make a move," Lu Ming said. A cold look flashed in the 2 old men's eyes. Without saying a word, they kept pestering Lu Ming and Wang Haoxin, flying towards Lu Ming and Wang Haoxin. Since Lu Ming and Wang Haoxin didn't make a move, then they would drag them in. A huge black wolf roared furiously and charged over at the fastest speed. This giant wolf had battle prowess at the peak of the 9th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. With a swipe of its claw, it enveloped the old man, Lu Ming, and the others. The 2 old men screamed and ran for their lives. Boom! Wang Haoxin took a step forward and blasted out a blazing fist aura, which collided with the wolf claw. The giant wolf howled in anger. A large part of its paw was charred, but Wang Haoxin was also forced to retreat. The giant wolf's eyes were bloodshot. It howled crazily and pounced on the 2 old men without any regard for its life. "Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish." At this time, Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. The infinite dragon spear appeared and swept out. The spear light expanded and formed a huge spear pillar that swept towards the 2 old men. "You can't." The 2 old men were shocked and used all their strength to block, but with their cultivation at the 8th layer of the spiritual ocean tier, how could they block Lu Ming's attack? They were struck by the spear ray until they spat out large mouthfuls of blood, and their bodies flew towards the giant wolf beast. The giant wolf demonic beast let out a long howl and swung out its claws. Under the despairing eyes of the 2 old men, the 2 old men were torn apart. Then, the giant wolf beast opened its mouth and swallowed the storage rings of the 2 old men. It glanced at Lu Ming and the others and actually turned to leave. "Want to leave?" "Say." How could Lu Ming let them leave? He strode forward and took several steps. Boom, boom. 5 steps in a row. The power of the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps exploded. The giant wolf beast howled as its huge body was stomped down and crashed into the ground below, creating a crater that was a few thousand meters deep. At this time, the other 2 beasts also pounced. These 2 beasts were a giant tiger and a giant snake, both of which had battle prowess at the peak of the 9th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. With a shake of the long spear, 2 rays of spear light shot out and pierced 2 wounds on the bodies of the 2 beasts. Blood flowed out. The fresh blood made the 2 demonic beasts even crazier as they pounced on Lu Ming. As for the giant wolf, it also started to struggle. It stomped on the ground and the ground rumbled. Amid the flying gravel, the giant wolf dashed into the sky and charged towards Lu Ming. You don't have to do anything, I'll do it. On the side, Wang Haoxian was about to make a move but was stopped by Lu Ming. There were a few opponents that Lu Ming could use to practice. The long spear shook and danced out. Spear light swept through the air and pierced towards the three beasts. The roars of the three demonic beasts were as loud as thunder, causing heaven and earth to tremble. Three types of attacks, flames, ice, and thunder, erupted from their bodies and charged toward Lu Ming. The giant tiger and the giant wolf had sharp claws like knives, and the body of the giant snake was like a steel whip. They had a terrifying attacking power. If one was hit, one's body would be torn apart. Lu Ming used the three absolutes of the dragon god and occasionally used the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps to battle the three beasts at the peak of the 9th layer of the spiritual ocean tier and faintly had the upper hand. On the side, Wang Haoxian was extremely shocked. Lu Ming obviously hadn't burst out with his strongest battle prowess. He hadn't used any bloodline martial arts and hadn't fused with divine rank bloodline, yet he could suppress the three beasts at the peak of the 9th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. As for Lu Ming, he was only at the peak of the 5th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. If it were her, unless she fused with divine rank bloodline, she could only suppress one of the beasts. At most, she could fight the three beasts to a draw. Just as Wang Haoxian's thoughts were flying, a shocking scream sounded out in the sky. A ray of silver light flashed, and in the next moment, it appeared in front of Wang Haoxian like the most terrifying heavenly blade, slashing towards Wang Haoxian's head. Wang Haoxian's pupils contracted rapidly. Flames spread out from his body as he punched out, and a blazing fist ray shot out. The silver light and the fist ray collided. In an instant, the fist ray dissipated, and the silver light slashed out again. Wang Haoxian's figure retreated rapidly, and at the same time, he punched out twice in succession. The two fist rays were scattered again, but they were slightly blocked. Wang Haoxian had time to prepare. His divine rank bloodline emerged, and Wang Haoxian fused with his bloodline, turning into a purple firebird, and pounced out. The purple firebird and the silver light collided. In the boom, the purple firebird flew back, and that silver light also stopped. It was a giant silver bird with a wingspan of 50 meters. Its entire body was silver, as if it was made of silver. Silver rock. Wang Haoxian's pupils contracted. The silver rock had the bloodline of the divine beast, the golden-winged rock, and was a descendant. It was extremely powerful, and ordinary beasts couldn't compare to it. Ordinary beasts were like ordinary human martial artists, and descendant beasts with divine beast bloodline were like human geniuses with powerful battle prowess, able to fight across levels. And the higher the concentration of divine beast bloodline, the stronger the talent, and the more powerful it was. This silver rock was also at the peak of the 9th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. The silver rock screeched, and pounced at Wang Haoxian again. Wang Haoxian had no choice but to flap his wings to face the enemy. But the silver rock's battle prowess was extremely powerful, much more powerful than the other three beasts combined. With only a few collisions, Wang Haoxian dispersed the flames and turned back into human form, spitting out blood. Shua! The silver rock turned into a silver lightning, and its wings were like heavenly blades, slashing at Wang Haoxian. Wang Haoxian's eyes were filled with despair. She couldn't dodge anymore. The next moment, a figure appeared in front of her, and with a palm strike, the silver rock was sent flying. Chapter 8:18. The one who appeared in front of Wang Haoxian was naturally Lu Ming. However, at this moment, Lu Ming's figure was taller and sturdier than usual. His skin was covered with dense scales, and his aura was extremely violent. Wang Haoxian looked in other directions and found that the three beasts had all been killed by Lu Ming. The silver rock shouted and pounced towards Lu Ming. Kill! Lu Ming stepped out and punched out, colliding with the silver rock's wing. The silver rock's huge body was sent flying, and it let out a mournful cry. One of its wings was deformed, and the bone had been broken by Lu Ming. The silver rock's blood-red eyes actually showed fear. It flapped its wings and turned around to leave. Still want to run? Lu Ming stepped out and caught up with the silver rock, and stepped out. This step contained a violent force, and it hit the silver rock's back. The silver rock let out a mournful cry, and it fell to the ground. A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand, and the long spear pierced the silver rock's heart, killing it. Wang Haoxin was shocked. This silver rock with the bloodline of the golden-winged rock was actually killed by Lu Ming with an unstoppable force. This silver rock had almost killed her just now. Lu Ming's combat strength was too terrifying. In this case, it would not be too difficult for Lu Ming to kill her now. Also, what kind of secret technique was that? It was so terrifying. His body was covered with scales like a beast, and his aura was violent and terrifying. Her heart was extremely complicated. In her eyes, Lu Ming was becoming more and more mysterious, more and more unfathomable. Lu Ming flew down and secretly devoured the silver rock's blood essence. A burst of dragon force is indeed powerful. Lu Ming thought in his heart. Just now, he had unleashed a surge of dragon force. Coupled with the hell-suppressing heaven skill, his power had reached a terrifying level. He had killed 3 demon beasts in one go, blocked the silver rock's attack towards Wang Haoxin, and crushed the silver rock to death. I wonder how powerful it would be if 2 streams of dragon force were to burst out at the same time? Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. When the 9 dragons' bloodline reached the 2nd level of the divine realm, there would be 2 dragon energies. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Lu Ming said. You don't want these corpses? Wang Haoxin asked. A total of 4 corpses of beasts in the 9th layer of the spiritual ocean tier, especially that silver rock. The materials on its body were extremely valuable. If you want it, take it. Lu Ming waved his hand. With the wealth left behind by Supreme Nine Sons, he didn't care about these demon beasts at all. The spirit stones exchanged for them wouldn't even be enough for him to swallow in a few mouthfuls. Finished speaking, Lu Ming stepped out. Wang Haoxin glanced at Lu Ming a few more times. After confirming that Lu Ming really didn't want it, she put away the 4 corpses. On a mountain peak tens of thousands of miles away, Lu Ming sat cross-legged, refining the blood essence. Wang Haoxin was at the side, guarding Lu Ming. The blood essence of the 4 beasts in the 9th layer of the spiritual ocean tier was extremely rich. However, with the refining power of the 9 dragons' bloodline, it didn't take much time to completely refine it. All the power of the blood essence poured into the health-suppressing monument bloodline, but the health-suppressing monument bloodline still didn't advance and was still at the 2nd level of the divine realm. What did those guys steal from those demon beasts? And those demon beasts were a little different from other demon beasts. Lu Ming muttered to himself. The demon beasts in the wild beast forest were affected by the baleful aura and killing intent here. They were all incomparably violent and didn't fear death. They had lost their intelligence and wouldn't show any signs of fear. However, after those demon beasts were injured by Lu Ming, they showed fear. And that silver rock's fear was even stronger. It even turned and ran, which was different from other demon beasts, making Lu Ming feel a little strange. Could it be because of its high level? Lu Ming shook his head and didn't care about it for now. He planned to see what the 2 old men took from the demon beasts that caused the demon beasts to chase after them. Lu Ming looked through the 2 storage rings. There were some spirit crystals, some origin stones, medicinal pills, and secret manuals. Lu Ming didn't care much about them. In the end, Lu Ming found a metal box. This metal box wasn't big, but it was placed in a very important position. Lu Ming took it out and opened it. He found a red stone inside. The stone was the size of a fist. When the metal box was opened, the stone emitted a strange aura. Lu Ming immediately felt refreshed and refreshed. Could this be a soul-gathering stone? Lu Ming's eyes suddenly shone brightly. The soul-gathering stone was a rare treasure of heaven and earth. It had magical effects on the soul. Legend had it that when a person had just died and his soul had yet to disperse, if the soul-gathering stone was used to gather it, it could bring the person back to life. Of course, the legend was exaggerated, but it was very useful to the soul. Those guys must have taken the soul-gathering stone from the demonic beasts. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Those demon beasts must have regained some of their intelligence because of the soul-gathering stone. That was why they were chasing after the two old men to take back the soul-gathering stone. This soul-gathering stone must be very useful to Senior Nine Sons. At this thought, Lu Ming was overjoyed. If Supreme Nine Sons' soul was strong enough, he might be able to revive in the future. Let's go back to the cave abode. Lu Ming got up and flew back to the cave abode with Wang Haoxian. A few thousand miles away from the cave abode. I will leave the wild beast forest in a month at most. During this time, you don't have to hunt demon beasts. Cultivate by yourself. When I leave, I will send you a message. Lu Ming instructed Wang Haoxian and flew back to the cave abode alone. Soon he returned. Supreme Nine Sons was still sitting there cross-legged. However, the soul-gathering tree was completely dried up and had no energy left. Lu Ming guessed that Supreme Nine Sons would wake up soon. As expected, Supreme Nine Sons woke up 3 days later. Senior Nine Sons, how is your recovery? Supreme Nine Sons bowed and asked. My soul power has increased a lot. I won't fall into a deep sleep so easily. Supreme Nine Sons smiled. That's good. Senior Nine Sons, I have a soul-gathering stone here. It might be useful to you. Lu Ming took out the soul-gathering stone and held it in his palm. Supreme Nine Sons' eyes lit up like two small suns. He stretched out his hand and grabbed the soul-gathering stone. After examining it for a while, he laughed out loud. It really is a soul-gathering stone. Ha, good. With this soul-gathering stone, my soul power will definitely recover by a large amount. At that time, I will be able to help you. It's good that it will be useful to you. Lu Ming was also very happy. Lu Ming, thank you. I will go back to the Temple of Paragon to refine it. Supreme Nine Sons wrapped the soul-gathering stone and turned into a ray of light. He rushed into Lu Ming's glabella and disappeared. I will cultivate for a while more and then go to the Sea Cloud sect to meet up with Shao Qing and the others. Chapter 8:19. Next, Lu Ming continued his seclusion. In the blink of an eye, more than 20 days had passed. During this time, Lu Ming continued to use origin stones to break through, raising his cultivation to the peak of the 6th layer of the spiritual sea realm. However, his earth concept was still stuck at the peak of the 2nd level, unable to break through to the 2nd level. At this time, there were less than 10 days left until the half-year agreement. Shao Qing, Fatty and the others have already come out of the Sky Vault Legacy grounds. I should also leave, Lu Ming thought. During this time, he and Xian Yanqing had naturally communicated with each other. Otherwise, Xian Yanqing would definitely be worried about Lu Ming's safety and would not be able to cultivate in peace. Knowing that each other was safe, Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin could cultivate in peace in the Sky Vault Legacy grounds. And Lu Ming could also cultivate in peace and wait for Supreme Nine Sons. Lu Ming packed up and left the cave abode. He flew out of the wild beast forest at high speed. Thousands of miles away, on a mountain peak, Wang Haoxian stood against the wind. After seeing Lu Ming, she obediently followed behind Lu Ming and flew out together. Soon they were out of the wild beast forest. Their bodies suddenly became lighter, and their speed soared. They turned into 2 streaks of light and flew towards the east. Half a day later, they were close to the dragon vein in the east. Lu Ming took Wang Haoxian and flew directly towards the Sea Cloud sect. Lu Ming, how have you been? When Lu Ming arrived at the Sea Cloud sect, Xiao Xian stepped out and said with a smile. Haha, Xiao Xian, congratulations on breaking through to the spiritual sea realm and becoming a spiritual sea realm almighty. Lu Ming glanced at Xiao Xian and saw that she had broken through to the spiritual sea realm. She was now at the peak of the 1st layer of the spiritual sea realm. I have broken through, but you should be even more unfathomable. Xiao Xian smiled. Then she looked at Wang Haoxian behind Lu Ming and said, Lu Ming, you have a great beauty by your side. Be careful that Miss Xian Yanqing doesn't get jealous when she sees you. Don't worry, she's just my maid. Why would Shao Qing be jealous? Lu Ming smiled. These words caused Wang Haoxian, who was standing behind Lu Ming, to grit her teeth and feel hatred in her heart. Servant girl? Xiao Xian was stunned, and then she looked at Wang Haoxian and said, "May I know your name?" Wang Haoxian glanced at Xiao Xian, snorted coldly, and did not answer. How could someone like Xiao Xian enter Wang Haoxian's eyes? "She is Wang Haoxian." Lu Ming answered for her. "So it's Miss Wang." "What? Wang Haoxian? Which Wang Haoxian?" Xiao Xian began to nod, but immediately reacted. Her pupils contracted as she looked at Lu Ming in shock and asked several questions. "It's none other than Wang Haoxian from the ancient Wang family." Lu Ming said casually. "What? She is the god-level genius, Wang Haoxian? 'Tis now your maid?" Xiao Xian's voice was trembling, and her eyes were full of shock. Who would believe that the god-level genius, Wang Haoxian, would become Lu Ming's maid? Xiao Xian thought that she was dreaming. Wang Haoxian gritted her teeth unhappily. She knew that if this matter were to spread, her reputation would be ruined, but what could she do? She was also helpless. Let's not talk about this first. Shao Qing and Fatty should be here soon. Lu Ming said casually, looking into the distance. Xiao Xian kept taking deep breaths to calm herself down. This matter was simply too shocking. Soon, 2 rainbow lights appeared from the horizon and arrived in front of the Hai Yun sect in a few breaths. As the rainbow light dissipated, Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin's figures appeared. "Ah, Lu Ming, we meet again. I missed you so much." As soon as Kong Jin appeared, he laughed loudly and was about to pounce on Lu Ming. But the next moment, he looked around and saw Wang Haoxian standing behind Lu Ming. His but seemed to be pricked by a needle, and his body jumped up like a round ball. "Wang Haoxian, it's you? Why you here?" Fatty cried out in disbelief, and the aura on his body burst out. Peak of the 5th level of the spiritual sea realm. After half a year, Fatty's cultivation reached the peak of the 5th level of the spiritual sea realm, only 1 step away from the 6th level. On the other side, Xian Yanqing also burst out the cultivation of the peak of the 5th level of the spiritual sea realm, and his eyes revealed killing intent as he stared at Wang Haoxian. "What? Wanna fight? You think you are my match?" Wang Haoxian sneered, and a powerful aura burst out, pressing toward Fatty and Xian Yanqing. "What are you doing? Retract your aura." Lu Ming glanced at Wang Haoxian and snorted coldly. Wang Haoxian snorted, retracted her aura, and stood behind Lu Ming obediently. Seeing this scene, Fatty and Xian Yanqing were dumbfounded. "Don't be nervous. She is now my maid," Lu Ming said with a smile. "Yet a maid?" Fatty's mouth opened wider than a lamb leg, and Xian Yanqing's eyes widened. Previously, Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing didn't mention that Wang Haoxian had become his maid. The message transmission Jade Talisman couldn't explain clearly, and only said that he was fine, and they didn't need to worry. So now, Xian Yanqing and the others were naturally surprised. "Lu Ming, what's going on?" Xian Yanqing stared and said. "It's like this." Lu Ming explained how he had subdued Wang Haoxian, but skipped the matter of Supreme Nine Suns. He only said that he had found the nether-een grass by accident, and refined it into nether-een powder to control Wang Haoxian. "Is that so? Lu Ming, I admire you so much. You have such a beauty to serve you every day. That's so cool." "No, I also want to learn the art of inscription. I want to learn it too." Fatty was the first to shout, and his 2 small eyes were sparkling. It was as if he could already see countless women surrounding him and serving him as his servants. "Fatty, don't talk nonsense. I have been cultivating alone during this period." Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat, and he quickly explained. "Lu Ming, you 2 have been in the wild beast forest during this period." A cold voice sounded. Xian Yanqing glanced at Lu Ming and Wang Haoxian unkindly. "Little Qing, although we have been in the wild beast forest, we have been cultivating separately." Lu Ming quickly explained. "Young Master Lu Ming, the bed is ready. Do you need me to warm it for you?" At this moment, Wang Haoxian spoke, which made Lu Ming's eyelids twitch. He turned around and stared at Wang Haoxian fiercely. However, he saw Wang Haoxian's mouth curl up slightly, revealing a trace of complacency. "Nest, this is revenge, a blatant revenge," Lu Ming shouted in his heart. As expected, Xian Yanqing's silver teeth were tightly clenched together, and her eyes widened. She revealed a cold expression and squeezed out a sentence from her mouth. "Pervert, Lu Ming, you really haven't changed." I am innocent." Lu Ming was speechless. What did she mean by haven't changed? When did he become perverted? "Wang Haoxian, don't talk nonsense," Lu Ming scolded. Chapter 8:20. Nest Lu Ming, you're too powerful. Wang Haoxian, that violent woman, was actually tamed by you. I admire you. Fatty touched the pot that didn't boil. Lu Ming. Xian Yanqing screamed, and a powerful aura burst out from his body. The sky demon force field enveloped Lu Ming. Lu Ming was shocked. He moved, penetrated the force field, and appeared beside Xian Yanqing. He grabbed Xian Yanqing by the waist. Xian Yanqing's body trembled, and the force field disappeared. "Fool, can't you see that she did it on purpose? I only have you in my heart. How can Wang Haoxian move my heart?" Lu Ming whispered in Xian Yanqing's ear. This action was really intimate. Xian Yanqing looked around and found that the fatty, Xiao Xian, and Wang Haoxian were staring at them with wide eyes. He immediately blushed and struggled. "Lu Ming, you let go of me. If you don't believe me, I won't let go," Lu Ming said with a grin. "I believe you." Xian Yanqing admitted defeat. Lu Ming's arm loosened, and Xian Yanqing flew out, his face red. "Huh, the weather is really good today. Sister Xiao Xian, don't you think so?" Fatty chuckled and turned his head to look elsewhere. Xiao Xian also turned to look elsewhere. This made Xian Yanqing's face redder, and he glared at Lu Ming. Lu Ming looked at Xian Yanqing with a grin. After fooling around, they started to chat. Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin also had some fortuitous encounters in the Sky Dome relic. Their cultivation had reached the peak of the 5th level of the spiritual sea realm, and their comprehension of concepts was far beyond Lu Ming. However, like Lu Ming, they hadn't awakened their 3rd bloodline yet, as if they were still accumulating power. "But now, you're no match for me," Lu Ming said with a smile. "Humph, don't be so smug. When I awaken my 3rd bloodline, I'll definitely defeat you." Xian Yanqing snorted and pouted. Especially when he looked at Wang Haoxian, his eyes were extremely unfriendly, as if he was still holding a grudge in his heart. "Someone's coming." Lu Ming suddenly looked into the distance. A ray of sword light streaked across the sky at an extremely fast speed. In the blink of an eye, it was right in front of him. When the sword light dissipated, a slender and beautiful woman appeared. Ting ting. Seeing this woman, the fatty was overjoyed and hurriedly went to greet her. This young woman was actually Ruan Tingting. "Fatty, Lu Ming, Miss Yanqing, I didn't expect you to be here too." Ruan Tingting was overjoyed to see Lu Ming and the others. "Tingting, long time no see." Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing also greeted Ruan Tingting. They hadn't seen each other for half a year, and Ruan Tingting had already gotten over that period of sadness. There was a heroic spirit about her, making her look heroic and cool. "Tingting, aren't you cultivating in the Imperial Heavenly Guard? Why you here?" the fatty asked. "I came with Brother Long Qianli." Recently, the Heavenly Corpse sect and Sky Demon Valley sent out geniuses to challenge the geniuses of the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace. On the Dragon Vein in the east, there were geniuses from the Heavenly Corpse sect blocking the entrance of a sacred ground. They were very arrogant. Brother Long Qianli wanted to come and meet them, so I followed him and headed to the Windsword sect to avenge my parents. Ruan Tingting explained. "The geniuses from the Heavenly Corpse sect and Sky Demon Valley are all here?" Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and the others were stunned. "Yes, I heard that the strongest batch of geniuses will come. For example, the geniuses from the Heavenly Corpse sect who are ranked below 100 on the list of top 1,000 talents are here," Ruan Tingting said. "This is normal. Every time before the Battle of Providence, the Overlord forces will send their geniuses to the other party's territory. Their purpose is to test the strength of the other party's geniuses. In the past, the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace also sent their geniuses to the Heavenly Corpse sect. This time, the Heavenly Corpse sect and Sky Demon Valley are here together, Wang Haoxin said. She was a genius from the Wang clan and knew more about this. Lu Ming nodded. This was understandable. Although the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace and the Heavenly Corpse sect were arch-enemies, they didn't kill their envoys. When the other party's geniuses came, the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace could only send their geniuses to meet the enemy. Ting, let's go to the Wind Sword sect first. After we deal with the Wind Sword sect, let's go and take a look. Lu Ming said. He also wanted to see how strong the geniuses from the Heavenly Corpse sect were. All right. Ruan Tingting nodded. Then, the group headed to the Wind Sword sect. Lu Ming could tell that Ruan Tingting's cultivation had already reached the 3rd level of the spiritual sea realm. It was obvious that Ruan Tingting had been heavily groomed by the Emperor Heavenly Forbidden Guards in the past half a year. Together with the inheritance from the Blue Gold Supremacy, her cultivation had improved so quickly. Lu Ming and the others naturally weren't going to help Ruan Tingting take revenge. Back then, Lu Ming said that he would let Ruan Tingting take revenge herself. They were heading there together in case of any accidents. Soon, the mountain gate of the Wind Sword sect was in sight. Who's there? This is the Wind Sword sect. Stop right there. At the mountain gate of the Wind Sword sect, a disciple guarding the mountain shouted, "Don't you recognize me?" Ruan Tingting strode forward with a gloomy face. "Ruan Tingting, you're Ruan Tingting." The disciple's face changed drastically. "I won't kill you. Go and get old man Yi Fa to come out and die." Ruan Tingting said. You wait." The disciple turned around and ran away. Clang, clang, clang. After a while, a hurried bell sounded from the Wind Sword sect. Subsequently, a large number of figures appeared in the depths of the Wind Sword sect. Yi Fa, Yi Qing, and some elders of the Wind Sword sect. However, they stopped in the depths of the Wind Sword sect and didn't walk out. Yi Fa glanced at them solemnly and said, "Tingting, what happened back then was our fault. However, because of this, the patriarch of the Wind Sword sect died in battle. Apart from that, a few experts also died. Qing Er's cultivation was also crippled. Can this matter end here?" "Shut up. Don't call my name." "Sure. Wait until I chop off your head, then it will naturally end," Ruan Tingting said coldly with an extremely dense killing intent. During this period of time, she cultivated with all her might in hopes that she could kill her way into the Wind Sword sect one day and take revenge for her parents. How could this matter end so easily? Yi Fa's eyes were cold and didn't say anything. "Since you guys aren't coming out, then I'll kill my way in." After Ruan Tingting said that, a sword chime sounded. A blue sword chi soared into the sky. As the sword chi crisscrossed, Ruan Tingting strode forward. 3rd level of the spiritual sea realm. The faces of Yi Fa and the rest changed drastically in disbelief. Lu Ming looked around and revealed a cold smile. "Let's go in and take a look too." Then, they followed closely behind Ruan Tingting and stepped out. Seeing that Lu Ming and the rest had stepped into the territory of the Wind Sword sect, Yi Fa's eyes were cold. Killing intent flashed as he shouted, "Formation rise!" Immediately after, densely packed inscriptions appeared all around the Wind Sword sect. Streaks of sword chi condensed in the air, and a powerful pressure spread out. This was a killing formation. A level 6 killing formation that was extremely powerful. Chapter 821. Although they didn't know the exact process of that incident, they heard that Ruan Tingting obtained a great opportunity. During this period of time, Yi Fa was deeply worried and hoping that Ruan Tingting would be killed in the cruel competition. At the same time, he was also making preparations. He paid a huge price to hire a level 6 true inscription master to inscribe a powerful killing array in the Wind Sword sect. As long as Ruan Tingting and Lu Ming stepped into the Wind Sword sect, he would activate the killing array and kill Lu Ming and the rest. "Little bitch, I already gave you a chance, but you didn't cherish it. Even a martial artist at the 6th level of the spiritual ocean realm would die if they stepped into this array. Now, let's see how you're going to kill me." Yi Fa's expression was extremely gloomy as he spoke coldly. Ruan Tingting raised her brows and cursed in her heart. She was too careless. Hee hee, sect leader Yi, you think you can kill us with this array? Aren't you too naive? At this moment, Lu Ming chuckled. It's more than enough to kill you all. Yi Fa said coldly, but a trace of seriousness flashed in his eyes. In fact, the one he was most wary of wasn't Ruan Tingting, but Lu Ming and the rest. In his eyes, Lu Ming and the rest were unfathomable. Half a year ago, in that competition, their Wind Sword sect was completely defeated by Lu Ming and the rest. He built this array mostly to deal with Lu Ming and the rest. You think too highly of your formation. To be honest, I don't know what kind of inscription master you've hired. He's a complete piece of trash. You want to trap us with a trash formation? You're too naive. Lu Ming smiled. With that, he stepped out. With every step Lu Ming took, circles of dense inscriptions would appear on the ground. These inscriptions seemed to be alive and were actually swimming on the ground. Yi Fa's expression changed drastically as he cried out, "You're also an inscription master? Do it, control the array and kill them." In the surroundings, the grand formation shook. In the sky, endless sword chi converged, emitting a terrifying might as it pierced towards Lu Ming's group. Xian Yanqing, Fatty, Ruan Tingting, and even Wang Haoxian remained motionless, as if they did not see the sword chi. They had all witnessed how powerful Lu Ming's Tao of inscription was. However, Lu Ming still had a smile on his face. He stepped forward and whispered, "Break." As his voice fell, the sword chi that was piercing towards them from all directions collapsed just like that. The inscriptions around the Wind Sword sect were like fire falling into ice. They sizzled and disappeared without a trace. As Lu Ming's voice fell, the great array was broken. Yi Qing and some of the elders of the Wind Sword sect had a terrible change in expression. They turned pale and bloodless. Yi Fa paid a huge price to invite a 6th-level true inscription master and spent half a month to perfect the Great Array. The Great Array that could kill an expert at the 6th level of the Spirit Sea realm was actually broken by Lu Ming while he was talking and laughing. This was too shocking. Could it be that not only was Lu Ming's martial cultivation so powerful, but even his Tao of inscription was so terrifying? All his plans were useless in an instant. Their hearts turned cold and they felt despair. Ruan Tingting, don't you want revenge? If you want revenge, then do it yourself. Why did you call for help? Since it's like this, I admit defeat today. If you want to kill me, then kill me. Yi Fa called out to Ruan Tingting. Yi Fa, you don't have to use such a low-level method to provoke me. If it was a head-on battle, I wouldn't have interfered. Of course, I would have to interfere with things like arrays. Lu Ming smiled. You wouldn't interfere? You said it, don't go back on your words. Yi Fa called out. Of course I won't. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Ruan Tingting, what about you? Yi Fa was still worried and looked at Ruan Tingting. I'll kill you with my own hands. Ruan Tingting's answer was very obvious. All right, since it's like this, attack and kill this little bitch. Yi Fa clenched his teeth and said gloomily. Instantly, 2 old men charged out from behind Yi Fa, and a powerful aura spread out. 5th level of the Spirit Sea realm. Xiao Xian exclaimed. These 2 old men actually had the cultivation of the 5th level of the Spirit Sea realm. The Wind Sword sect definitely didn't have such experts, and Yi Fa must have paid a huge price to invite them. What Yi Fa said just now was to make Lu Ming and the others not attack, and then let the 2 5th-level Spirit Sea realm experts kill Ruan Tingting. His intentions were vicious. Lu Ming, Tingting, Xiao Xian looked worriedly at Lu Ming. No worries, Tingting should be able to handle it. Lu Ming said. He had long seen that there were 2 5th-level Spirit Sea realm experts behind Yi Fa, but he believed in Ruan Tingting. Ruan Tingting received Venerable Lan Jin's inheritance, which was a god-tier cultivation technique. In addition, Ruan Tingting's talent was top-notch. Previously, she was just buried in the Wind Sword sect. Otherwise, she wouldn't have received Venerable Lan Jin's inheritance. With a god-tier cultivation technique as a foundation and having cultivated in the Imperial Skyguard for so long, it wasn't a big problem for her to cross 2 levels to deal with 2 normal 5th-level Spirit Sea realm experts. Clang. The sword ray whistled, and the blue sword Qi soared into the sky as if it could tear everything apart. Sword concept. Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. Ruan Tingting evolved the sword concept on the foundation of the gold concept. Ruan Tingting yelled and stepped forward. The sword Qi whistled and charged towards the two old men. The two old men unleashed their full strength, but after a few moves, they started to fall into a disadvantage. Ruan Tingting's blue sword ray was condensed from a god-tier cultivation technique, and in addition to the sword concept, it was simply indestructible. Xiu! Xiu! The sword Qi rampaged and tore apart the two old men's attack in defense. Spare us! The two old men wanted to beg for mercy, but the sword Qi pierced through the void and pierced through their throats. The two old men were dead. How could this be? Yifei Yiqing and the others' faces were pale and filled with despair. Ruan Tingting's eyes flashed with killing intent as she stepped forward. The sword Qi soared into the sky as she walked towards Yifei. Tingting, spare us. Back then I treated you well. Yifei shouted and started to beg for mercy. Treated me well? Marrying me to the Qing River's two freaks in exchange for a fortuitous encounter for your children. That's treating me well? Using my parents to force me and causing them to pass away in the end. That's treating me well? Ruan Tingting sneered. That was just a moment of folly on my part. Tingting, if you kill me, the Wind Sword sect will no longer exist. It will fall apart and be erased from the world. Yifei didn't give up and continued to shout. What does the Wind Sword sect no longer exist have to do with me? Ruan Tingting was unmoved as she strode forward. The sword Qi whizzed out and pierced forward. A few elders of the Wind Sword sect roared and unleashed their full strength, wanting to block it, but it was all in vain. The sword Qi pierced through their foreheads. The other upper echelons of the sword division sect ran for their lives. However, the sword Qi pierced through the air and killed them one by one. In the end, only Yifei and Yiqing were left. The two of them trembled and their faces were pale. They were in despair. Back then, they had forced Ruan Tingting so much and they definitely didn't expect this to happen. Clang. The sword Qi flashed and Yifei and Yiqing couldn't block it at all. The two figures fell down. Chapter 8:22. Father, Mother, Tingting has taken revenge for you. Ruan Tingting held her sword and muttered. Tingting, let's go. The upper echelons of the Wind Sword sect are all dead. They will be annexed by other factions soon. From then on, the Wind Sword sect will cease to exist. The fatty walked forward and patted Ruan Tingting's shoulder. He was afraid that Ruan Tingting would sink into hatred and killing, unable to extricate herself. Ruan Tingting took a deep breath and shook her sword. The blood on the sword evaporated. She kept her sword and smiled. Fatty, thank you. She then walked toward Lu Ming and the others. Lu Ming, monsieur, thank you. The reason why she could reach this step and take revenge was all because of Lu Ming and the others. Back when she obtained the inheritance, the Luan family and the Jianghu family chased after her. It was Lu Ming and the others who risked their lives to protect her. Otherwise, she wouldn't be where she was today. Since we are friends, there's no need to thank us. Let's go and see the prodigies of the Heavenly Corpse sect. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Under the horrified gazes of many Wind Sword sect disciples, they left the Wind Sword sect and flew in the direction of the Dragon Vein. According to Ruan Tingting, the prodigies of the Heavenly Corpse sect had set up a battle platform at the entrance of a Cultivation's sacred ground in the Dragon Vein to challenge the prodigies of the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace. It had been a few days, and the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace was at a disadvantage. That was why Long Qianli had brought people here, hoping to stabilize the situation. Before the War of Providence, a few overlord factions would send their prodigies here. Firstly, it could serve as a training ground and test their strength. Secondly, it was also a way to lower the morale of the other party. Lu Ming and the others flew in the direction of the Dragon Vein with Ruan Tingting. Unscathed Valley was a relatively famous cultivation's sacred ground in the Dragon Vein that the Wang family occupied. This place was of a higher level than the 100 Supremes Mountain, and there were more prodigies cultivating here. For example, many quasi-god prodigies ranked 300th to 400th would choose to cultivate here. The prodigies of the Heavenly Corpse sect pulled up a stone platform from the ground at the entrance of Unscathed Valley and used it as a battle platform. 8 prodigies of the Heavenly Corpse sect stood on one side of the platform. They were all dressed in black robes and had cold smiles on their faces. Another sovereign of the Heavenly Corpse sect was standing in the middle of the platform, looking around. There were many figures around the fighting ring. They were all geniuses from the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace. Long Qianli stood at the front. Are there only so few geniuses in the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace? 4th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. Who else wants to fight? In the middle of the fighting ring, the genius of the Heavenly Corpse sect glanced around proudly. For a moment, no one dared to go up. Just now, that prodigy of the Heavenly Corpse sect had already defeated 3 prodigies in the 4th layer of the spiritual ocean tier in a row, and was extremely powerful. Damn it! This time, the Heavenly Corpse sect must have gone through many rounds of selection. Those selected are all top-notch figures of different levels. Our Heavenly Emperor Divine Palace naturally has such figures as well. It's just that they aren't here at the moment. That's right, we were just caught off guard. The people from the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace started discussing fervently, feeling extremely indignant. The geniuses from the Heavenly Corpse sect were naturally the best in their respective realms. They were invincible in their own realms. How could they find so many experts in such a short time? Bloodsword 19, if you're capable, fight me. Long Qianli stepped out and stared at one of the 8 prodigies from the Heavenly Corpse sect. Bloodsword 19 was a god-level prodigy from the Heavenly Corpse sect, ranked 294th. Long Qianli was ranked 295th. Their rankings were similar. Why are you in such a hurry? Wait a minute. Let the others fight first and I'll fight you later. Bloodsword 19 looked at Long Qianli and sneered. Long Qianli's face darkened. In the past few days, the Heavenly Corpse sect had sent out their prodigies in the 2nd and 3rd layers of the spiritual ocean tier. The Emperor Heaven Divine Palace could not afford to lose again. 4th layer of the spiritual ocean tier, who wants to fight me? On the stone platform, the Heavenly Corpse sect disciples continued to challenge. I'll do it. A voice came from afar, and a streak of light flew over rapidly. Boom. Then, a figure landed on the stone platform. Gu Zhang, it's Gu Zhang. Gu Zhang, 359th on the list of top 1,000 talents, is a quasi-prodigy. Good, there's hope now. The crowd was somewhat excited. Finally, a quasi-prodigy in the 4th layer of the spiritual ocean tier came. Although the list of top 1,000 talents had not been updated for a long time and countless geniuses had risen to prominence, the rankings of the previous list of top 1,000 talents no longer had any authority to determine the combat prowess of the current geniuses. Some prodigies rose, some progressed slowly, and some even soared into the sky and awakened the god-level bloodline. Therefore, the prodigies on the list of top 1,000 talents were now in a complete mess. However, it could still be used as a reference. Those who were previously ranked at the top would not be too weak. Gu Zhang, I hope you won't let me down. The Heavenly Corpse sect expert said. I hope so too, Gu Zhang said coldly. Then, the two began to fight. But after a dozen moves, the crowd was shocked to find that Gu Zhang was completely suppressed and at a disadvantage. After another dozen moves, Gu Zhang was sent flying and coughing up blood. He was defeated again. Ha, you're really weak. Let me tell you, I'm not the strongest in the 4th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. There are many more in the Heavenly Corpse sect who are stronger than me. The Heavenly Corpse sect genius sneered. Humph, what are you so proud of? It's just that our prodigies are not here now. At the exchange half a month later, all the prodigies will be here. Let's see how arrogant you can be then. Someone said indignantly. The Heavenly Corpse sect people sneered. They naturally knew that the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace would not only have so few prodigies. Many of them were in seclusion, but what did it matter? Their goal was to break the morale of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. Bush, bush. Just then, a few more streams of light flew over from the sky, and 6 young figures appeared. The appearance of these figures immediately attracted many people's attention. This was because there were 4 young women in this group of 6. Each of them was extremely beautiful, especially Xian Yanqing, who attracted many people's attention. These 6 people were naturally Lu Ming and the rest. Lu Ming, it's you. Suddenly, there was a cold shout, and several figures flew out, their killing intent not concealed at all. Chaotic winds and clouds. A flash of killing intent appeared in Lu Ming's eyes. The one who spoke just now was Luan Fengyun. Half a year ago, Luan Fengyun had ambushed and injured Xian Yanqing with a bow. Lu Ming would never forget that. He did not expect to meet Luan Fengyun here again. Lu Ming, you guys have been hiding for half a year. Let's see where you can hide today. Luan Fengyun looked at Lu Ming and the rest with killing intent. His gaze paused on Luan Tingting for a while before looking at Long Qianli. His only fear was Long Qianli. He was afraid that Long Qianli would interfere. Hiding for half a year? Lu Ming curled his lips. Lu Ming, we meet again. Suddenly, another person appeared from the crowd. A figure stepped into the sky. Wang Ju. Chapter 8:23. He hadn't seen Wang Ju since the Heaven King ranking battle. He should be cultivating in seclusion, but now he had appeared. What's wrong? You're looking for a beating after being defeated? Lu Ming smiled faintly. Lu Ming, I lost in the Battle of the Kings, but what's the big deal about losing in the King Realm? The Sea of Soul Realm is where the geniuses compete. Defeating you now is as easy as flipping my hand. Wang Ju's body emitted a blazing aura. On the other side, the people from the Heavenly Corpse sect were watching with interest. They didn't expect the people from the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace to have internal strife. They were naturally happy to see it happen. Long Qianli frowned slightly. He naturally recognized Lu Ming, but he had already helped Lu Ming and the others once. He couldn't interfere with Lu Ming's private matters every time. After all, the other party was an ancient family. Moreover, his gaze was fixed on Wang Haoxin, who was behind Lu Ming. He was very surprised. Why would Wang Haoxin stand behind Lu Ming? If Wang Haoxin attacked, he wasn't confident. Wang Ju, why don't you let me deal with this person? Luan Fengyun looked at Wang Ju. All right. Wang Ju nodded. It would be best if Luan Fengyun could deal with Lu Ming. Just then, a figure flashed and blocked in front of Lu Ming. If you want to touch Lu Ming, you'll have to get through me first. Wang Haoxin said coldly. Wang Haoxin, what are you doing? Luan Fengyun's expression changed drastically. He naturally saw Wang Haoxin just now, and he was also curious. Why would Wang Haoxin come with Lu Ming and the others? He thought that it was on the way. If you want to touch Lu Ming, you'll have to defeat me first. Wang Haoxin said coldly. This made Luan Fengyun's expression turn even uglier. Wang Haoxin was a god-grade genius who had awakened a god-grade bloodline. How could he be a match for him? Wang Haoxin, why are you doing this? Wang Ju asked with a bewildered gaze. He was from the same clan as Wang Haoxin. Wang Haoxin was an incomparably arrogant person. His talent was extremely high, and he was completely focused on cultivation. He had never treated others well, especially men. Apart from her brother Wang Haotian, she had almost no friends. Now, she was actually standing in front of Lu Ming, helping Lu Ming block the enemy. This was somewhat inconceivable. Not only him, but the others were also in disbelief. Many people who didn't know Lu Ming were guessing who Lu Ming was to be able to make the god-level genius Wang Haoxian act like this. I'll spare you today for the sake of Wang Haoxian. Luan Fengyun said coldly. Then she turned around to leave. Did I say you could leave? Even if you're not looking for me, I'm looking for you. Lu Ming's voice rang out. He took a step forward and said, Wang Haoxian, there's no need for you to interfere. I'll deal with it myself. Chaos, wind and cloud stopped and glanced at Wang Haoxin. Wang Haoxin took 2 steps back, as if he was very obedient to Lu Ming and had no intention of interfering. This made many people feel surprised again. Chaos, wind and cloud also frowned and said, Lu Ming, Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Then, a powerful aura rose from his body. He was at the peak of the 5th level of the spiritual sea realm. Obviously, Chaos, Wind, and Cloud had made great progress in the past 6 months and had advanced to a higher level. A big bow appeared in his hand, and his aura became sharp. Swish. He stepped back and knocked an arrow. An arrow instantly traversed the space and shot toward Lu Ming. It was as fast as lightning and as powerful as thunder. Many people were secretly shocked. Chaos, Wind, and Cloud was indeed a quasi-genius on the list of top 1,000 talents. His combat strength was extremely powerful. Not many people at the same level could dodge this arrow. Xian Yanqing, Fatty, and the others didn't move at all, as if they weren't worried at all. Lu Ming also didn't move and let the arrow hit him. It was as if Lu Ming didn't react at all. Lu Ming was going to be killed. This thought flashed through many people's minds. The arrow pierced through the air and shot toward Lu Ming's forehead in an instant. At this moment, Lu Ming finally moved. He stretched out a hand. Few people could see when he stretched out his hand, and he caught the arrow. The arrow stopped steadily in front of Lu Ming's forehead, less than an inch away from Lu Ming's forehead. Almost everyone widened their eyes in shock. Lu Ming actually caught the arrow with his bare hand. This arrow was not shot by an ordinary person, but by Chaos, Wind, and Cloud, who had reached the peak of the 5th tier of the spiritual sea realm. It was absolutely terrifying and could kill an ordinary expert at the 7th tier of the spiritual sea realm. But Lu Ming casually caught it in his hand. This kind of visual impact was seriously too great, making people's minds go into a trance. Chaos, Wind, and Cloud, I haven't seen you for half a year, and you haven't improved at all. Lu Ming smiled slightly. His fingers exerted force, and the arrow in his hand shattered. Chaos, Wind, and Cloud's pupils shrank rapidly. She retreated quickly, and at the same time, the big bow in her hand drew again. Shio! Shio! The rapid arrow was a series of 9 arrows, and they formed a straight line. The arrows at the back collided with the arrows at the front, causing the arrows at the front to explosively increase in speed. As for the first arrow, its speed increased to a terrifying degree. However, Lu Ming took a step forward and struck out with his palm. The arrow was shattered into pieces by the impact. Chaos, Wind, and Cloud was shocked and retreated quickly. Lu Ming took a few steps and appeared in front of Chaos, Wind, and Cloud in a flash. Chaos, Wind, and Cloud was terrified. She exploded with all her strength, and a battle blade appeared in her hand, slashing at Lu Ming. Lu Ming struck out with a palm strike, and the battle blade shattered. Lu Ming clawed at Chaos, Wind, and Cloud's throat. Chaos, Wind, and Cloud's Zhenyuan was completely sealed, and she struggled in Lu Ming's hand. Everyone was shocked. Chaos, Wind, and Cloud was a quasi-prodigy and was extremely powerful. But in front of Lu Ming, she was like a chicken, unable to withstand a single blow. All of her attacks were easily broken by Lu Ming. Those who knew about the battle at 100 Supremes Mountain were even more shocked. At that time, Lu Ming was completely suppressed by Chaos, Wind, and Cloud. But now, only half a year had passed, and Lu Ming's battle prowess had reached a terrifying level, completely crushing Chaos, Wind, and Cloud. It was truly terrifying. Let him go! Behind Chaos, Wind, and Cloud, 2 young men shouted and attacked Lu Ming at the same time. Lu Ming kicked out, and the power of 9 dragon sky stomping steps was contained within. The 2 young men were at the 6th layer of spiritual sea realm, but they weren't prodigies, and were far weaker than Lu Ming. They both spat out mouthfuls of blood and retreated. Lu Ming's finger appeared in a ray of light, and he struck out. Puchi! Blood splattered everywhere, and one of Chaos, Wind, and Cloud's arms flew out, and was cut off by Lu Ming. Chaos, Wind, and Cloud let out a low roar, and her body struggled with all her might. Lu Ming swung, and Chaos, Wind, and Cloud was sent flying. This arm, I'll take it as paying you back for that sneak attack. If you can't accept it, you can come and fight me again. Lu Ming said coldly. Chaos, Wind, and Cloud roared, and used her martial arts to stop the bleeding. She looked at Lu Ming with hatred and shock. On the other side, Wang Ju's pupils contracted rapidly, and his heart was in turmoil. Wang Ju's battle prowess was powerful and his talent was shocking. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to enter the Heaven King ranking. Chapter 8:24. But now, he realized that Lu Ming's cultivation was unfathomable, and his battle prowess was even more terrifying. Even Luan Fengyun was crushed by Lu Ming. This made him extremely shocked. At this moment, Lu Ming looked at him. "Now, do you still want to fight?" A calm voice sounded. Everyone's eyes gathered on Wang Ju. Still want to fight? There seemed to be no need to answer this question. Luan Fengyun was easily crushed. If he fought, he would be crushed even more miserably. Wang Ju's face turned green and then white. Finally, he gritted his teeth and turned into a beam of light, leaving the place without a fight. No one thought that Wang Ju was cowardly. Many even agreed with Wang Ju's decision. Facing an unbeatable opponent, perhaps retreating was the wisest choice. Lu Ming smiled faintly and returned to Xian Yanqing's side. In front of the stone platform, Long Qianli looked at Lu Ming. His eyes flashed. Now, he couldn't see through Lu Ming, which made him extremely shocked. He still remembered that half a year ago, Lu Ming and the others still had to rely on his reputation to get out of the 100 Supremes mountain. But now, in just half a year, Lu Ming already gave Long Qianli an unfathomable feeling. Interesting. On the stone platform, Blood Sword 19 sneered. Then, he looked around again and said, "Since no one in the 4th layer of the spiritual ocean tier wants to fight, then the 5th layer will fight. Shuemang, you go." Beside Blood Sword 19, a young man nodded and stepped out, appearing in the center of the stone platform. His aura bloomed. Peak of the 5th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. 5th layer of the spiritual ocean tier, who wants to fight? Shuemang's face was slightly pale, but his eyes were as red as blood. Around the stone platform, it was silent. This time, the Heavenly Corpse sect had sent out top experts of all levels. Their battle prowess was almost invincible. This Shuemang was obviously such a figure. Without confidence, going up would only be embarrassing. "I'll go." After a while, a young man in a red robe flew onto the fighting ring. Everyone recognized that this person was a Wang family half-deity level Heaven's Pride, his strength extremely powerful. Boom! The Wang clan's Heaven's favorite shouted and dashed towards the bloody light. Clang! The sound of swords filled the air as the blood-red sword qi increased in intensity. Blood qi exuded from Shuemang's body as he engaged in a fierce battle with the Wang clan's Heaven's favorite. The Heavenly Corpse sect's blood intent is extremely powerful. The Wang family is no match for them. Lu Ming shook his head. Sure enough, after a dozen or so moves, the Wang clan's prodigy was no match and was at a disadvantage. After a few more moves, he was beaten until he spat out large mouthfuls of blood and was defeated. Who else wants to fight? Shuemang continued to challenge Lin Fan with disdain in his eyes. "Damn it, I'll fight you." A tall and sturdy young man roared and rushed onto the stone platform. However, this young man was even weaker than the geniuses of the Wang clan. In less than 10 moves, he was defeated. For a moment, no one went up to fight. It's a pity that Luan Fengyun was defeated. Originally, Luan Fengyun was an important battle force at the 5th level of the spiritual sea realm. He might be the strongest at the 5th level of the spiritual sea realm and might be able to fight against Lin Fan. Now that Luan Fengyun's arm is broken, no one at the 5th level of the spiritual sea realm can fight. Whispers of discussion could be heard all around. "Luan Fengyun is nothing. Let me teach him how to behave." After the fatty heard this, he was instantly displeased. He grinned, carried his battle axe, and stepped onto the stone platform. Lu Ming and the others smiled, not worried about the fatty. In a battle of the same level, the fatty would not lose unless he encountered a prodigy who had awakened a divine bloodline. "Brat, you're very arrogant. You want me to serve you?" The fatty held the battle axe in one hand and spun it a few times in the air. The battle axe was like a door plank, bringing with it a gust of wind. He looked at Shuemang provocatively, looking like a cocky expert. Can this fatty do it? Some people expressed their doubts. He should be able to, right? Back at the 100 Supremes Mountain, this fatty and Lu Ming fought against the experts of the Luan family and Jiang family together. The battle strength they displayed was also extremely powerful. Some people replied. Some people looked at the fatty with hope, hoping that he could win this round. Fight. Shui Mang was very straightforward. The blood-red sword Qi soared into the sky and slashed towards the fatty. Nest, I haven't even called for the fight to start, and you've already attacked. You're cheating. The fatty shouted and spun the battle axe in his hand, blocking in front of him. Ding. Shui Mang's sword Qi pierced the fatty's battle axe, and the sound of metal clashing could be heard. How dare you sneak attack me? Take this. The fatty's battle axe shook, and Shui Mang felt a strong force. His expression changed, and he could not help but retreat. Once he retreated, what welcomed him was the fatty's storm-like attacks. The battle axe was like a whirlwind, continuously slashing towards Shui Mang. Every strike seemed to be able to split the sky. Shui Mang's expression changed drastically. He tried his best to block, but every time he blocked a strike, he would take a step back. After 10 consecutive strikes, Shui Mang spat out a mouthful of blood and was sent flying. He won. The fatty had won with an overwhelming momentum. Many people did not even have time to react. Ah, you're so weak. The fatty laughed loudly. Great. Fatty, you're amazing. Many people laughed, revealing a carefree expression. They had finally won a match. They had lost too many matches in the past 2 days. Because they were caught off guard by the Heavenly Corpse sect, they had lost many matches in a row. Now, they had finally won a match. Since this fatty is standing next to Lu Ming, he naturally won't be bad. Birds of a feather flock together. Those who can walk together are most likely geniuses of the same level. Indeed. The surrounding discussions made the fatty feel even more comfortable. Ha, Heavenly Corpse sect, do you have any stronger people? Send them out quickly. I'll take care of them one by one. The battle axe in the fatty's hand swayed back and forth, causing a strong wind to howl. Blood Sword 19 snorted coldly. This time, among the prodigies in the 5th level of the Spirit Sea realm that he had brought, Shui Mang was the strongest. He had thought that by catching the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace off guard, they would be able to win consecutively and dampen the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace's morale. However, he had not expected a fatty to appear out of nowhere. Have you awakened a god-tier bloodline? Blood Sword 19 asked coldly. If the fatty was a god-tier prodigy who had awakened a god-tier bloodline, then even if he won, there would be no glory. Nonsense. If I had awakened a god-tier bloodline, why would I need to use so many moves to defeat him? One move would be enough. The fatty curled his lips. All right, you win this match. Blood Sword 19 said. He then looked at Long Qianli and said, Long Qianli, why don't we have a battle between god-tier prodigies? As soon as these words came out, everyone's hearts trembled, and their eyes lit up. The main event was coming. It was finally the battle between the god-tier prodigies. Awakening a divine-grade bloodline and not awakening a divine-grade bloodline were two completely different concepts. Most of the prodigies had only awakened a king-tier bloodline, and many of them were only at the 9th level of the king tier. Chapter 825. The last time the list of top 1,000 talents was ranked, only the top 300 had awakened the divine bloodline. 300, including the Talisman Puppet sect, the Heavenly Corpse sect, and the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace, the 3 hegemons of the 3 great treasure realms. There were hundreds of regions, but such a large territory only had 300 people. Even if there were some rising stars, there would not be too many of them. Therefore, under normal circumstances, it was rare to see a duel between divine-level talents. Clashes between god-grade geniuses would only occur before the Battle of Providence. As time passed and the Battle of Providence drew closer, the number of clashes between god-grade geniuses would definitely increase and become more intense. Ha, Blood Sword 19, are you finally going to fight? I'll keep you company. Long Qianli laughed and stepped out, landing on the stone platform. Long Qianli, you've misunderstood. I'm not going to fight, but one of my junior brothers. Guiyu, go ahead. Blood Sword 19 smiled. Swish! As soon as Blood Sword 19 finished speaking, a figure flashed and appeared in front of Long Qianli. So fast! Many people were shocked. They did not see when Guiyu appeared in front of Long Qianli. It was as if he had been standing there the whole time. Long Qianli frowned and said, "You're Guiyu?" "That's right," Guiyu said calmly. He looked very young, no more than 25 years old. Many people's eyes flashed because the name Guiyu was unfamiliar. He was not on the list of top 1,000 talents at all. He should be a rising talent. Let's fight. Long Qianli was not careless at all. A strong aura emanated from his body, and a long black spear appeared in his hand. He was at the peak of the 6th level of the spiritual sea realm. Like Wang Haoxin, Long Qianli's cultivation had also reached the peak of the 6th level of the spiritual sea realm. He stared at Guiyu with bright eyes. Since Guiyu dared to fight with him, he must be a divine-level talent. Long Qianli did not dare to underestimate him. To his surprise, Guiyu shook his head and said, "You're no match for me." As soon as these words were spoken, the crowd went into an uproar. This guy is so arrogant. He didn't even fight and said that Long Qianli is no match for him. He's too narcissistic. That's right. Who is Long Qianli? A god-tier genius. How dare he boast so shamelessly? Damn it. Brother Long, teach him a good lesson. Some people from the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace roared in anger, feeling extremely indignant. Come on, we haven't fought yet. You're too full of yourself. Long Qianli's eyes also revealed a trace of anger. To think that he would be looked down on even before the battle had even started. As a genius, it was only natural for him to feel displeased. Clang. A scimitar appeared in Guiyu's hand as she said, "I already said that you're not my opponent. If you add her, then it'll be a little more interesting." Then he pointed his scimitar at Wang Haoxin. "Wang Haoxin, you're also a god-tier genius. Come at me together. You and Long Qianli together. I'm interested in fighting," Guiyu said faintly. His tone was not loud, but it revealed his strong confidence. Wang Haoxin frowned, and his eyes revealed a trace of sternness. Since he was being challenged in public, there was no reason for him not to fight. She looked at Lu Ming. If she wanted to fight, she had to get Lu Ming's approval. "If you want to fight, then go ahead." Lu Ming smiled slightly. This made many people's jaws drop. If Wang Haoxin wanted to fight, she had to get Lu Ming's approval? Could it be that Wang Haoxin had been conquered by Lu Ming and had become Lu Ming's woman? Many people could not help but have this thought. They looked at Lu Ming with a hint of jealousy and envy. Many people even showed a look of admiration. Even a woman like Wang Haoxin could be conquered. It was admirable. Xian Yanqing suddenly snorted in displeasure, and his lips curled up. Lu Ming smiled bitterly and touched his nose, pretending not to see it. Wang Haoxin nodded, took a step forward, and appeared on the stone platform. "Long Qianli, since he wants to challenge me, then let's fight," Wang Haoxin said coldly. Her body exuded a terrifying heat, and purple flames burst out. "Well, since this person is so confident, I'm afraid he has some ability. Be careful." Long Qianli sent a message to Wang Haoxin, and the aura on his body became stronger. He pointed his long spear at Guiyu and said, "Make your move." Interesting. Guiyu sneered, and a black light burst out from his body. In the black light, there were countless people screaming, emitting a horrifying aura. "Kill!" Guiyu shouted, and his body disappeared in a flash. The next moment, a cold light slashed at Long Qianli's throat. Without a doubt, Guiyu's cultivation was also at the peak of the 6th level of the spiritual sea realm. Long Qianli's long spear shook, and instantly whipped forward, clashing with the blade light. With a dang, the blade light was repelled, but in the next moment, the blade light appeared at Wang Haoxin's throat again. Wang Haoxin punched out continuously, and the blazing fist light burned everything. Boom! The blade light was defeated, and a figure appeared in front in a flash. It was Guiyu. "You have some skills. Now, let's get to the main topic." As soon as Guiyu's voice faded, endless black qi filled the air. In the black chi, there were bursts of ghostly cries and wolf howls. On the stone platform, many people's faces turned pale, and they spat out blood. They were horrified, and they quickly retreated, roaring, "This is the evil ghost intent domain, don't get too close." Many people quickly retreated, and they only dared to stop when they were far away. Lu Ming waved his hand, and a Zhenyuan wall appeared in front of him, blocking the evil ghost intent domain. The evil ghost intent domain was extremely strange. Through the ghostly cries and howls, it could affect people's souls and minds. It was a type of intent domain that was similar to sound waves. Long Qianli and Wang Haoxian's expression became serious, and they both burst out their intent domain to resist. Kill! At the same time, the two of them attacked at the same time. Violent attacks were launched at Guiyu. Ghost Moon Blade Art. Guiyu whispered. His body trembled, and he disappeared again. In the next moment, on the stone platform, countless blade lights suddenly flashed, and they continuously slashed at Long Qianli and Wang Haoxian. Each blade light was extremely powerful, and they were extremely fast. Moreover, the angles were extremely tricky, and no one knew where they would come from. It was as if blade light could come from any corner of the stone platform. What a strange cultivation technique! Lu Ming's eyes flashed, and he stared at the stone platform. Guiyu's attack naturally could not escape his eyes. He found that Guiyu's body seemed to have merged with the evil ghost intent domain. Wherever the evil ghost intent domain spread, his body could reach in an instant. It was fast and ruthless and extremely strange. In order to break this kind of attack, one could only use a strong method to break the evil ghost intent domain. Obviously, Long Qianli and Wang Haoxian had also thought of this. With a dragon roar, a three-headed demon dragon appeared above Long Qianli's head, and a golden chakra was extremely dazzling. Chapter 8:26. In the next moment, Long Qianli and Wang Haoxian used their bloodline fusion and turned into a three-headed dragon and a purple firebird. The three heads of the three-headed dragon roared, and its dragon claws tore forward as if it could tear the world in half. As for the violet flame bird, it cried out and spat out a violet flame that burned everything in its path. Boom! The space shook and countless blade lights exploded. The evil ghost intent was defeated and Guiyu's body appeared as he floated back. Hee, you've used all your trump cards. Then come. As he sneered, a moon appeared above Guiyu's head. However, this moon was extremely strange. It was actually black and there were ghostly shadows flickering on it. However, this was not the most shocking thing. What was shocking was that there were two golden chakras on the black moon that emitted dazzling golden light. Two golden chakras, a rank 2 divine realm bloodline. Guiyu actually had a rank 2 divine realm bloodline. No wonder he was so arrogant. Shua! Guiyu's body flashed and his body merged with the black moon. The moon shook and an endless amount of black light was emitted. Every ray of black light seemed to be a blade light that spread towards Long Qianli and Wang Haoxian. A dragon roar sounded and the three heads of the three-headed dragon spat out attacks of 3 different attributes. There were flames and lightning that spread forward. The purple firebird flapped its wings and flames spread out. It was as if space was going to be burned through. Boom! Boom! In the sky, there was a violent roar. The stone stage below was instantly reduced to ashes. In the previous battle, everyone had intentionally controlled their energy to prevent the stone stage from being destroyed. However, they could no longer control it now. The surrounding people retreated once again. Only Lu Ming, Bloodsword 19, and a few others remained still. Suppress! A cold shout came from the pitch-black moon. Everyone saw that the pitch-black moon was shining with a black light. It was like a ghostly moon falling towards Long Qianli and Wang Haoxian. Boom! With an intense explosion, the three-headed dragon and purple firebird were sent flying far away. They then rapidly shrank and turned back into Long Qianli and Wang Haoxian's true bodies. The two staggered back with pale faces and spat out mouthfuls of blood. Defeated. The two of them were defeated by Guiyu. He kill. The black moon laughed coldly and continued to press down on Wang Haoxian and Long Qianli, emitting terrifying fluctuations. Long Qianli and Wang Haoxian had both been defeated, yet Guiyu was still attacking. Was she trying to kill them? Despicable. Shameless. Stuff. They've all lost. Around them, many people roared. However, the pitch-black moon did not seem to have any intention of stopping. It continued to bombard them. Long Qianli and Wang Haoxian roared angrily and attacked. However, the two of them were already injured and had reverted to their true forms. Their strength was also somewhat weaker, so how could they block the attack? Immediately, the two of them were sent flying, drawing out 2 deep craters on the ground. Their faces paled as they coughed out another mouthful of blood. However, the pitch-black moon continued to press down. Despicable! How dare you attack me? Angry roars could be heard from the surroundings. Blood Sword 19 sneered. The pitch-black moon emitted a boundless might as it continued to press down. However, right at that moment, a figure suddenly appeared under the pitch-black moon. A palm strike was sent towards the pitch-black moon. Boom! The space seemed to be split apart, emitting a loud rumbling sound. The pitch-black moon shook violently and was then sent flying into the sky by a terrifying force. This scene fell into the eyes of the crowd as if a person was striking the moon. A palm strike sent the moon flying. Everyone looked at the figure in shock. It's him! Lu Ming! A name appeared in everyone's mind. This figure was Lu Ming. Long Qianli and Wang Haoxian had already been defeated, but Guiyu was still attacking. Therefore, Lu Ming stepped in to stop her. It's you! How dare you stop me? I'll kill you too! An angry roar came from the pitch-black moon. The black light shone brightly, and those lights were like blades. However, Lu Ming stretched out his palm and those blades were all shattered. Lu Ming took a step forward, approaching the moon, and struck out with his palm. Bang! The pitch-black moon was like a rubber ball that was sent flying into the sky by Lu Ming's palm strike. Lu Ming took a step forward, his body like a stream of light, instantly rushed into the sky and appeared above the black moon. A terrifying devouring power burst out from his left hand, enveloping the pitch-black moon and causing it to shake violently. What's going on? My bloodline! The pitch-black moon let out a scream of horror. Bang! In the next moment, Lu Ming struck the pitch-black moon with his palm. The pitch-black moon instantly burst like a black balloon. Guiyu's figure emerged and fell towards the ground at an extremely fast speed. Lu Ming took a few steps forward, his body like a meteor, falling at an extremely fast speed. Violent energy blasted on Guiyu's body. Boom! Guiyu's body heavily hit the ground. Suddenly, the earth shook, gravel splashed, and smoke filled the air. How is it? Everyone's eyes stared at the place where the smoke and dust filled the air. When the smoke and dust cleared, everyone saw a huge pit that was a few hundred meters wide and dozens of meters deep on the ground. Lu Ming's body stood straight in the middle of the pit. One of his feet was stepping on Guiyu's face. Guiyu was lying in the pit like a dead fish. His mouth was constantly vomiting blood and his body was twitching nonstop. Guiyu had completely fainted. His body twitching was just an instinctive reaction. The scene suddenly quieted down, so quiet that only the sound of people gasping could be heard. Guiyu, who was incomparably arrogant and had defeated Long Qianli and Wang Haoxian, was now being stepped on by Lu Ming like a dead fish. It was a tragic sight. From the beginning to the end, less than a minute had passed. The impact on everyone was too strong. Crushing, this was a complete crushing. In the next moment, the scene erupted into loud cheers. Ha, good hit, good step. This is too good. Wasn't this Guiyu very arrogant? A new rising prodigy who wanted to step on the older generation's prodigies is now a dead fish. Dare to be arrogant in Nine Dragon City, don't you know how to write the word death? Many people laughed heartily as they expressed their happy thoughts. Long Qianli looked at Lu Ming with shock. He had just fought with Guiyu and knew how terrifying Guiyu was. He and Wang Haoxian were still crushed, but Guiyu was easily defeated by Lu Ming. Lu Ming had not even activated his bloodline, and had easily defeated Guiyu in his normal state. What was even more terrifying was that Lu Ming's cultivation was only in the 6th layer of the spiritual sea realm. He did not crush Guiyu with his profound cultivation, but with pure battle strength. Long Qianli smiled bitterly. It had only been half a year. Half a year ago, he did not put Lu Ming in his eyes. The reason why he brought them out of 100 Supremes Mountain was because of Lu Ming and the others' righteous behavior, as well as Ruan Tingting's sake. Chapter 827. Lu Ming was very calm. There was nothing to be proud of. He wasn't afraid of anyone at the same level. Although Guiyu's bloodline was at the 2nd level of the divine realm, his bloodline martial technique couldn't be at the upper-grade demigod level like his. Guiyu's martial technique was only at the lower-grade demigod level. Even if Guiyu's martial technique was also at the divine realm, he was still crushed by Lu Ming at the same level. Lu Ming didn't even use his dragon power or bloodline fusion to defeat Guiyu. At this moment, Lu Ming looked at Blood Sword 19. Do you still want to fight? Lu Ming stepped on Guiyu and asked Blood Sword 19. Suddenly, everyone looked at Blood Sword 19. Lu Ming's intention was clear. He was challenging Blood Sword 19. Then, would Blood Sword 19 dare to accept the challenge? Blood Sword 19's face turned ugly. His cultivation was at the 6th level of the spiritual sea realm, the same as Long Qianli and Wang Haoxian. His bloodline was also at the 1st level of the divine realm. His battle power was similar to Long Qianli and Wang Haoxian. Guiyu was crushed. If he went up, wouldn't he be asking for humiliation? Don't think you're so great just because you defeated Guiyu. There are many divine realm geniuses at the 6th level of the spiritual sea realm who are stronger than Guiyu. They just didn't come today. Do you dare to go to the gathering half a month later? Blood Sword 19 said coldly. Looks like you don't dare to fight. If you don't dare to fight, just say so. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Get lost. Lu Ming kicked Guiyu, who was like a dead fish, towards Blood Sword 19. A Heavenly Corpse sect disciple walked out and caught Guiyu's body. Let's go! Blood Sword 19 shouted. Then, the group of Heavenly Corpse sect disciples ran away. Around them, many people looked at Lu Ming with awe. Crushing Guiyu and forcing Blood Sword 19 to retreat. What kind of power was that? Especially Luan Fengyun and the disciples of the Luan family. They were terrified. Luan Fengyun stared blankly at Lu Ming. He still couldn't believe it. Half a year ago, Lu Ming had been suppressed by him and could only resist with the help of a raise. But half a year later, Lu Ming could easily crush those immortal realm prodigies, let alone him. God-tier bloodline. He must have awakened his God-tier bloodline in the blood pool with the token. Otherwise, it's impossible for him to be so powerful. Thoughts flashed through Luan Fengyun's mind, and then she quietly left with a few young men from the Luan clan. Brother Lu, thank you. Long Qianli stepped forward and looked at Lu Ming with a complicated expression. Brother Long, you're too polite. Lu Ming smiled. Brother Lu, you've truly shocked me. In just half a year, you've actually reached such a level. I'm ashamed. Long Qianli sighed. The fact that Lu Ming could progress so quickly showed that Lu Ming's potential was much greater than his. His future was unpredictable. Just like those who ranked at the top of the list of top 1,000 talents, especially those who ranked in the top 20 or even the top 10, they were all unpredictable geniuses. I'm just lucky. Lu Ming smiled faintly. He brushed it off casually and did not talk about this topic. Long Qianli didn't say much and said, Brother Lu, in half a month's time, there will be an exchange meeting under the divine 9-dragon cauldron in the first dragon vein. At that time, apart from the top 100 geniuses of the Emperor Heaven Deity Palace and the Heavenly Corpse sect, most of the geniuses will participate. Even those powerful descendants of the Sky Demon Valley will participate. With Brother Lu's combat strength, you will be a great help to our side at that time. Aren't the top 100 prodigies going to participate? And the Talisman Puppet sect? Lu Ming asked curiously. The Talisman Puppet sect has been in decline for the past few thousand years. Although it's still one of the 4 overlords in the eastern wilderness, it can't be compared to the other 3. In the past few hundred years, it's been very low-key and usually doesn't send anyone to participate. It's only during the Battle of Providence that they send their prodigies. Long Qianli nodded and explained. The top 100 prodigies on the list of top 1,000 talents are the key to the Battle of Providence, so they won't reveal themselves easily. Moreover, they're all training and cultivating in secret and dangerous places. They won't appear before the Battle of Providence. Oh. Lu Ming nodded. Brother Lu, I'll take my leave then. Long Qianli said. Then he looked at Ruan Tingting and said, Tingting, are you going to join the Imperial Sky Imperial Guards with me or keep your friends company? Brother Long, you go ahead. I'll stay with Xian, Lu Ming and the rest. Ruan Tingting smiled. All right. Long Qianli nodded. Then he cupped his fists at Lu Ming and the rest and left. Lu Ming, you're so powerful. You're much more powerful than you were half a year ago. Xiao Xian flew in front of Lu Ming, her big eyes blinking as she looked at Lu Ming. Her face was full of admiration and worship. Ahem. Lu Ming coughed a few times and touched his nose. He was a little embarrassed by Xiao Xian's gaze. Pervert, let's go. Xian Yanqing walked over and snorted. She took Lu Ming's arm and pulled him forward. Hee, Xian Yanqing is jealous. Xiao Xian's voice came from behind. Of course. Xian, you're too naughty. You didn't see if Yanqing was here. Ruan Tingting's soft voice came. Tingting, come, I'll hold your arm. Fatty said. Go away. Go away. Ruan Tingting's voice came, followed by Xiao Xian's bell-like laughter and Fatty's sigh. Wang Haoxian looked at Lu Ming and the rest with a complicated gaze. Then she followed. The group headed towards the Sea Cloud sect. Next, the group went on a scenic tour and occasionally stopped to cultivate. They were all young people. After not seeing each other for half a year, they had a lot of common topics to talk about and got along well. Even Xian Yanqing became more talkative. During this period, Lu Ming's spirit was not too tense. It was rare for him to relax. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 days had passed. There were only 3 days left before the exchange between the Sky Prides of Sky Demon Valley, Sky Corpse Sect, and Sky Corpse Sect. Lu Ming, are you going to the exchange? Ruan Tingting asked. Of course, I'm going. The Sky Prides of the 3 Overlord forces will gather. It's such a rare event that I can't miss it. Besides, I also want to see the powerful descendants of Sky Demon Valley. Lu Ming said. Sky Demon Valley could be said to be the oldest force in Eastern Wilderness. It had existed since ancient times and was much older than Emperor Heaven Divine Palace and Talisman Puppet Sect. Sky Demon Valley was completely composed of demonic beasts. There were countless powerful demonic beasts and countless descendants with divine beast bloodlines. They were extremely powerful. Some people said that Sky Demon Valley was the strongest force in Eastern Wilderness. It was even stronger than Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. Besides, in every generation, Sky Demon Valley would give birth to many descendants with divine beast bloodlines. These descendants were undoubtedly the Sky Prides of the demonic beasts. Their combat strength was extremely terrifying. That's great. Let's set off together. If you arrive early, you can rest there. Ruan Tingting said. Tingting, can I go too? Xiao Xian blinked her big eyes. Among them, Xiao Xian was much weaker and could not be considered a Sky Pride. Chapter 828. Let's go together. I'll kick anyone who doesn't let you in. Lu Ming laughed. Xiao Xian was overjoyed. Xiao Xian told her father, Xiao Long, and Xiao Long agreed wholeheartedly. If Xiao Xian could participate in such a gathering, it would definitely increase her knowledge and insight. It would also be very helpful for her future cultivation. Immediately, the group flew toward the center of 9 dragons. The journey of tens of millions of miles was not far for them. They chatted as they flew. They arrived in less than a day. Tens of thousands of miles away, they could see a majestic mountain range meandering on the ground. It was one of the 3 dragon veins in the center of 9 dragons. After traveling for tens of thousands of miles, countless buildings appeared in front of them. There were all kinds of palaces, pavilions, and even shops. They could not see the end of it. It seemed to be a city. However, this city had no walls. Instead, it was filled with countless buildings. People came and went in the buildings. It was very lively. The group walked in and found restaurants, inns, and shops. There were all kinds of things. There were countless people in Nine Dragons, and the land was vast. There were many special gathering places. Some places had city walls, such as Jianghu City. Some places did not even need city walls, just like what they saw in front of them. The group strolled on the streets. Ting Ting, is the gathering on the dragon veins? Lu Ming asked. Yes, and it's at the dragon's head, under the divine nine-dragon cauldron. Why don't we go and take a look first? Wan Tingting said. Okay. Lu Ming was also curious. The group passed through the buildings and flew toward the dragon's head. Soon, they arrived at the dragon's head. There was an extremely wide plain at the dragon's head. In the middle of the plain, there was a huge battle platform. There were many seats around the battle platform. According to Wan Tingting, this was the place where the Emperor Deity Palace used to hold grand events in the past. For example, there were sacrifices to the heavens or competitions between geniuses. Therefore, the exchange meeting a few days later was also held here. However, this was not what attracted the group's attention. Their attention was completely attracted by a huge cauldron in front of the open space. At the very front of the dragon head was a huge cauldron. The cauldron was pitch black and as big as a mountain. It towered into the clouds and was at least a few thousand meters tall. Looking from afar, the cauldron looked incomparably majestic. One could see numerous lifelike true dragons circling around it. This is the divine nine-dragon cauldron. There is a divine nine-dragon cauldron at the head of each of the nine dragon veins. Legend has it that the divine nine-dragon cauldron was already there when Nine Dragon City was founded. No one knows how many years have passed since then. It is said that the ancient experts used it to suppress the nine dragon veins. Wan Tingting said, "A supreme treasure? Why didn't anyone take it away?" Lu Ming asked curiously. No one can take it away, not even an Emperor realm expert. The divine nine-dragon cauldron has been in the world for a long time. It seems to be connected with the dragon vein and has existed since ancient times. Wan Tingting said. Lu Ming was shocked, looking at the divine nine-dragon cauldron in the distance. As for the fatty, Xian Yanqing, Xiao Xian, and the others, although they had heard of it before, it was their first time seeing it. They were also amazed. The 9 cauldrons were carved with true dragons and connected with the dragon vein. They were thousands of meters tall and had existed since ancient times. It was indeed a magnificent sight. Lu Ming and the others were not the only ones nearby. Many others stopped to watch. Over there, it seems like someone is approaching the divine nine-dragon cauldron. Xian Yanqing said. The others also saw a burly young man walking step by step toward the divine nine-dragon cauldron. The divine nine-dragon cauldron emits a great pressure. If you are not an expert, you can't get close to it. Wang Haoxian, who had been silent, said. Let's go and take a look. Lu Ming said and strode forward. When they were 10,000 meters away from the divine nine-dragon cauldron, they felt a great pressure coming from the cauldron. At this moment, Lu Ming raised his eyebrows and a trace of surprise appeared in his eyes. When he was 10,000 meters away from the divine nine-dragon cauldron, he suddenly felt something strange with the nine dragons' bloodline. It seemed to be anxious and excited. What's going on? The nine dragons' bloodline is strange. Is it because of the divine nine-dragon cauldron? The divine nine-dragon cauldron is engraved with true dragons to suppress the dragon vein. Maybe it really is related to the dragons. That's why the nine dragons' bloodline is acting strange. Lu Ming guessed in his heart. They continued to move forward despite the pressure. Soon, Xiao Xian could not stand it anymore and stopped moving forward. Lu Ming and the others continued to move forward. The closer they got, the more they felt the divine nine-dragon cauldron was grand and majestic. It was full of vicissitudes as if it had crossed time and space from ancient times. In Lu Ming's body, the nine dragons' bloodline seemed to be more anxious and excited. The power of the bloodline seemed to be boiling. Bam, bam. In front, a burly young man kept moving forward. His body was muscular and his blood chi was soaring. The blood chi vaguely formed a dragon that was roaring. That's not a human. It's a demon. It's a dragon, Xian Yanqing said. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. He also saw that the burly young man in front of him was not a human, but a dragon. He should be a genius from the Sky Demon Valley. A level 6 beast that could transform. The young man from the demon clan moved forward step by step and finally walked under the divine nine-dragon cauldron. He glanced at the cauldron and stretched out his hands to hug a corner of the cauldron. That dragon is really whimsical. It wants to hug the divine nine-dragon cauldron. Dream on. That's a treasure that even emperors can't touch. In the distance, someone sneered. Sure enough, the dragon looked up to the sky and roared, but the cauldron did not move. In the end, the dragon even showed its true form. It was a crimson dragon that was more than 200 meters long. Its claws grabbed the cauldron, but the cauldron still did not move. In the end, the dragon had no choice but to turn back into a human and retreat step by step. At this time, the nine dragons' bloodline in Lu Ming's body became even more violent, as if it was about to rush out of his body. Lu Ming's mind moved, and he controlled the nine dragons' bloodline. He could not let it appear here. Otherwise, it would be troublesome if word got out. Immediately, Lu Ming retreated. At this time, the nine dragons' bloodline seemed to let out a shocking roar. This roar sounded in Lu Ming's body, but the others could not hear it. But at this moment, a shocking scene happened. The divine nine-dragon cauldron in front of them suddenly shook. Suddenly, the dragon veins shook, the wind and clouds changed, and a terrifying pressure erupted from the divine nine-dragon cauldron. Oh no, retreat! Lu Ming and the others hurriedly retreated. After retreating 10,000 meters, the pressure was much less. After the divine nine-dragon cauldron shook for a while, it fell silent again, as if everything just now was an illusion. However, the scene had already exploded. Chapter 829. The divine nine-dragon cauldron, which even emperors couldn't touch, moved. But why did it suddenly move? Countless people guessed in shock. Many people had even sent the news back to the elders in their families. Is it because of the nine dragons' bloodline? The divine nine-dragon cauldron moved because of the nine dragons' bloodline? Lu Ming guessed in his heart. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Lu Ming said. He estimated that a big shot would come soon to check on the situation. After all, the divine nine-dragon cauldron, which hadn't moved for thousands of years, suddenly moved. It was too abnormal. Bang! Suddenly, a tall figure descended behind Lu Ming and blocked Lu Ming's way. It was the flood dragon of the demon clan. Sir, why are you blocking my way? Lu Ming frowned. The flood dragon exuded a powerful aura as it stared at Lu Ming with a look of surprise and greed. Your bloodline is very special. Let me take your bloodline and I'll spare your life. The flood dragon said coldly. It was extremely overbearing and greedy. It seemed to have sensed the abnormality of the nine dragons' bloodline in Lu Ming's body. Nest, is there something wrong with this reptile's brain? Who does he think he is? He wants to take my bloodline as soon as he opens his mouth. Fatty was furious when he heard that. He stared at the flood dragon unkindly. How dare you be so arrogant here? This is Nine Dragon City. Wan Tingting also said coldly. How dare you insult me? You're courting death. The flood dragon shouted coldly with a cold light in its eyes. Nest, this stinky reptile is still so arrogant. I suggest that we kill him and barbecue him. Fatty shouted and swallowed his saliva. You're courting death. The flood dragon shouted angrily and threw a punch at Fatty. I'm not afraid of you. Fatty raised his battle axe and charged forward. The axe whistled as it chopped down. Clang. The flood dragon's fist hit Fatty's battle axe. With a loud bang, Fatty's expression changed. His fat shook violently as he retreated 7 or 8 steps and almost spat out a mouthful of blood. This flood dragon's level reached the peak of the 6th level of the 6th level, which was equivalent to the peak of the 6th level of the spiritual C tier, while the fatty was only at the 5th level of the spiritual C tier. None of you can leave today. The flood dragon's eyes glinted coldly. The bloodline purity of this serpent dragon has reached 20%. It's incredibly powerful. Wang Haoxin appeared beside Lu Ming and said, depending on the purity of the bloodline of the celestial beasts, one's talent and strength would differ as well. Ordinary descendants were said to have the bloodline of a divine beast, but it was very thin. It might only be 1% or a few tenths. Those that could reach 1/10 of the concentration were extremely rare. Such descendants were extremely powerful and could even contend with god-ranked geniuses who had awakened their god-ranked bloodline. The serpentine dragon before him possessed the bloodline of the pure-blooded dragon, and it had already achieved 20% of its bloodline. As for the flood dragon that Lu Ming had met on Jinsha Island in the chaotic astral ocean, it contained at most a few tenths of a true dragon's bloodline. Bang! The flood dragon stepped towards Lu Ming. On the side, Xian Yanqing and Wang Haoxin were about to make a move. Let me! Lu Ming waved his hand, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Boom! The flood dragon was very domineering, and it threw a punch at Lu Ming. Since you don't want to hand it over, I'll take it myself. The flood dragon's mouth curled into a sinister sneer. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with killing intent, and he said, Fatty, I'll eat the meat of the flood dragon tonight. Then he took a step forward and threw out a palm. The palm and the flood dragon's fist collided. Bang! There was a dull roar in the air, and then the flood dragon's expression changed drastically. Its body trembled and it retreated. Don't. Lu Ming took a step forward, and in an instant he was 100 meters away. He caught up with the flood dragon and threw out another palm. The flood dragon roared and turned into a 200-meter-long crimson flood dragon. Its scales were dense, and its dragon claws were as sharp as knives. It tore at Lu Ming. Lu Ming threw out another palm, and it collided with the flood dragon's claws. The flood dragon roared, and its huge body frantically retreated. One of its finger bones was broken by Lu Ming. This flood dragon had 20% of the bloodline of the true dragon, and its strength was about the same as Gui Yu's. Naturally, it was completely crushed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming strode forward, grabbed one of the flood dragon's claws, and with a loud roar, he threw the flood dragon's huge body directly into the air and heavily smashed on the ground by Lu Ming. Boom! The ground shook violently, but the ground here had been suppressed by the divine nine-dragon cauldron for many years, and it was indestructible. The huge flood dragon's body smashed down, and the ground only shook, but it did not break at all. A series of crackling sounds were heard, and the flood dragon screamed. It did not know how many of its bones were broken, and its body was bleeding profusely. Nearby, the others who were watching were dumbfounded. Lu Ming was too violent. Such a powerful flood dragon was like a useless worm in the hands of Lu Ming. Ha, let me do it. Tonight, we'll eat flood dragon meat. Fatty shouted, and with a battle axe, he chopped at the flood dragon. The flood dragon roared and struggled. The moment Fatty chopped at it, its body continued to shrink. At the same time, its body was covered in a bloody light, like a bloody flame burning. But it was still a step too late. Blood splattered everywhere, and one of its legs was chopped off by Fatty. In the next moment, the flood dragon turned into a bloody light and disappeared in an instant. Lu Ming wanted to let Fatty have it, but when he let his guard down, the flood dragon disappeared. It actually burned the divine beast bloodline in its body. Even if it doesn't die, it's ruined its future. Lu Ming muttered. Just now, the flood dragon's speed increased because it burned the divine beast bloodline in its body. Of course, this was also the reason why Lu Ming let his guard down. Otherwise, even if the flood dragon burned its divine beast bloodline, it would not be able to escape. Next, it actually ran away. Luckily, it left a leg. Fatty shouted gloomily and ran toward the flood dragon's leg that was dozens of meters long. Let's go back and roast the flood dragon meat. Fatty hugged the flood dragon's leg and carried it on his shoulder. He laughed, and his saliva almost flowed out. Nearby, the others were speechless. This group of people, are they really going to roast the flood dragon's leg? Many of them even swallowed their saliva. The flood dragon's meat that contained the true dragon's bloodline was a great tonic. Fatty, let's go back and roast the meat, but you should keep it first. Lu Ming smiled. Fatty kept the flood dragon's leg, and the group left happily. They came to a small mountain hundreds of thousands of miles away, lit a bonfire, and started roasting the flood dragon's leg. Fatty was an elite foodie. His roasting skills were superb, and he always had seasonings like soy sauce, vinegar, oil, salt, and other seasonings in his storage ring. Soon, the flood dragon's leg turned golden. The grease dripped, and the aroma filled the air. The flood dragon's meat was cut into pieces, and the group ate heartily. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Immortal Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.